if you're north of us, I completely understand. But if you are us, well, we'll find out. We got Jay Grimes coming on later on this hour to talk about it and see if we can't reconnect with Josh Eaches before the show is over with this morning. We got a lot of ground to cover today. Yes, there will be a lot on the storm. Yes, there's a lot moving on the political front. And we're going to get to all of it. So let's dive right in. Top stories and trending. Governor Jeff Landry declared a state of emergency ahead of a weekend storm that could bring snow, ice, and brutally cold conditions to all of the state. Landry said his emergency order would allow the state to help impacted parishes directly. It also allows Louisiana to waive restrictions on commercial motor carriers and drivers assisting with emergencies in an effort to prevent shortages. Along that route, DOTD is already positioning crews and salt trucks near busy roadways across Louisiana. Crews spent the day moving salt to staging areas around Baton Rouge yesterday in preparation for a change in the weather. Up in North Louisiana, DOTD crews are already spreading salt brine on some roads and bridges near Shreveport and Bossier City. But down here in South Louisiana, DOTD says it's a little bit too soon to take that on. Yesterday, Governor Landry unveiled the Whole of Louisiana Energy Strategy, a comprehensive framework for aligning state agencies, regional and local partners, regulators, utilities, and private industry around a shared vision to unleash statewide energy dominance and elevate Louisiana's standing as a national and global energy leader. Louisiana State Representative Julie Emerson has dropped out of the U.S. Senate race for Bill Cassidy's seat following President Trump's endorsement of Congresswoman Julia Letlow. In a statement on social media, Emerson said, with Letlow's interest into the race, quote, the path to victory that was visible a couple months ago has diminished. That winter storm, what is the latest on it? Well, we are still under a winter storm watch per the National Weather Service. That watch is in effect or will go into effect for EBR, West Baton Rouge, North Livingston, Iberville, Point Capee, West Feliciana, East Feliciana, St. Helena, and Northern Tangipahoa parishes, as well as some counties in Mississippi. Rain and freezing rain battleground is what the description is, where we might be looking at that change from rain to freezing rain on Sunday. What you got?
Negotiators from the U.S., Ukraine, and Russia are starting 2 days of talks with Abu Dhabi today. Abu Dhabi today about ending the war in Ukraine.
Well, about time. They need to. It's
right.
It's
been going on for way too long.
Yep.
McDonald's was going slightly viral yesterday when someone posted a menu from 2009 online. The difference in pricing is stark, to say the least.
Yeah, the difference in a Happy Meal.
Yeah,
a Happy Meal is like $4 more than it was in 2009.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this. A Big Mac was $3.89. Now it's dang near $6. That's just for the burger. If you add fries and a drink, God, $10.
But see, and the thing I don't like here is we're zeroing in on McDonald's because that's what the menu was posted.
Right.
This is everyone everywhere. Like everyone everywhere. And inflation is the result. Inflation is the culprit for a lot of it. But overall, this is just this across the board. Like, think about it. When I was growing up, like mid-90s, right?
Yep.
The value menu at Taco Bell, $59, $79, $99. You could get 59 cents. Like, and I know this is old man stuff right now. Like, back in my day. Like, I understand that. But back in my day was not that long ago. You go to Taco Bell now, you're talking about $15 for yourself.
Yep.
And there's no more like, well, first of all, they got rid of the Maxi Melt and screw them. But secondly,
I'm mad.
I know. Secondly, $59, $79, $99, no matter where you go from there, it's just you haven't just doubled, you've quadrupled.
Yep. Taco Bell, the other day I got that meal item, which is the 3 tacos and a drink, $11 for 3 tacos and a drink.
And McDonald's increased in price of fries by 149%. 149% on the increase of fries. So it's everywhere. It's gross.
TikTok has finalized the deal to create a new American entity, avoiding the looming threat of a ban in the U.S. that has been in discussion for years.
Good. Put that to rest as well.
Right.
We can just move on from that one. Good. All right. What are we looking at as far as the storm is concerned? Our state meteorologist, Jay Grimes, going to join us at 6:50. But that's not all we're talking about today, y'all. As far as our guest list is concerned, Gabe Firment, State Representative Gabe Firment from up around the Pollock area, going to join us at 6:35. He was actually in the building yesterday. So I said, hey, sit down for a couple minutes. We need to chat about insurance. We'll hear from him at 6:35. In our 7 o'clock hour, our coroner, Dr. Beau Clark, going to talk about the fentanyl crisis and a TV show that he's a part of, which I believe his episode dropped last night. So we'll talk with him at 7:35. State Senator Rick Edmonds wants Julia Letlow's seat. He's running for that one. Will join us at 8:15. And then it'll be king cake time for Foodie Friday. The Gourmet Girls will be in the house. I don't know the Gourmet Girls. I hear it's bougie.
It is very bougie. And from what I'm told, I think they're best friends. They run a boutique and they keep up with the holidays, sell different clothes out of their boutique, and then they do king cakes. Okay. Yeah. So the Gourmet Girls, I hear we're in for a treat.
I know you're ready for this, don't I?
I know. Right. We're going to have all females in the studio, Brian.
No, it's good prep for me. My personal note, daughter's got cotillion tonight, and our house is the get ready house this time.
Gosh.
It's going to be 11 8th grade girls running around the Haldane house.
Oh my gosh. Hairspray flying, perfume flying.
All kinds of perfume. Yeah. Yeah. What are the popular perfumes for the junior high and that?
See, back in my day, it was Hollister and Abercrombie.
Okay.
I say back in my day. I mean,
you weren't like you're not old enough for the Teen Spirit.
No, the Teen Spirit, or what is it? The Aquanet that just smell the Aquanet hairspray. Ugh.
Oh, it's gonna be so hectic. All right, 6:11 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Speaking of the ladies, how about 98-54? Your final score last night. LSU taking it to Texas A&M. We will talk about that in just a little bit. Due up for a break. Before we take that break, though, it is the height of carnival season. Well, it's not the height of carnival season yet. We're getting there. Got a couple weeks to go. But carnival season is in full swing. Mardi Gras is on its way. Mathurns has got you covered, not just with the king cakes, but your parade route stop as well. King Cake headquarters, Highland Road, just west of Kenilworth. Mathurns at Kenilworth is your home base here to get the Nona Randazzos, to get the Kalutas, to get the Haydels and the Ubigs. And Joe's, all of them. They've got them all over there. Traditional, filled, specialty, you name it, they've got it over there. Now, once the parades start rolling, Mathurns downtown is your stop. They're a block, like literally one block off the route. You get out there, and, parading is just like tailgating. You run out of something, you flew through those beers a little bit too fast. Kids need a snack, whatever the case might be. It's within walking distance to Mathurns. Right there in between 3rd and 4th Street is where you're going to find them downtown. And, of course, as basketball season wears on and baseball season's around the corner, don't forget about the Mathurns on campus on Nicholson Drive. All through carnival season, it's Mathurns. There was an ambrosia king cake when I got here, so I took the last piece. And, it was the last piece. Completely unapologetic.
So this is a minute long of him talking about it. Okay. 7:15. Okay. Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19, but if you test positive, my goodness. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that can expose you to identity theft, leading to loss of funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialist.
I'm going to start requesting that we just continually buy forks.
I'm actually going to Costco Tuesday.
To the station?
Yeah, Sam's.
Oh, you're not going to believe this.
What?
One of the ones that disappeared.
Uh-huh. So when I go, not Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to get honey buns for denim. Brain, I can get a little crate of pork.
Just the forks, though.
Yeah.
Like, because when we get forks,
Satisfaction guaranteed. Online scheduling, same-day service, protecting your world every day. Visit HavertPest.com and you can rest
Who put it way down there? You get that?
down to your drive from the Talk 1073 Traffic Center.
Just a 5-minute trip from the 190 interchange down to the I-10 on-ramp. No major accidents this morning. Occupant road is currently out of service due to long. I'm Ray Romero. This report is sponsored by Blindster.com. Hi, I'm Kyle from Blindster. I started Blindster in my garage back in 2010. Since then, we've sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters nationwide. Our blinds are DIY friendly, guaranteed to fit, and always cheaper than big box stores. Blindster.com.
This report comes to you from the Talk 1073 Traffic Center. Looking for a real estate closing partner in Baton that offers mobile closing services? Mid-City Title, MidCityTitle.com. Fuel your day with the voices that keep Baton Rouge moving. Talk 1073.
616 Talk 1073 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. LSU women's basketball was at it last night in College Station, taking on Texas A&M. Head coach Kim Mulkey met the team there. She was over in Waco for a little while for a family emergency, but back at it. Things started off, could not have started well. Let's rewind all the way back to tip-off, okay? LSU starts off with down 4-0, and then before you know it, they're up by like 15. This was like a very, very quick turnaround. Once they got out ahead, they never relinquished the lead. It's easy to stretch out a lead when folks like Malaysia Full-Wiley are just filling it up from the three-point line. For example, 1.2.
Williams, left wing, back right side. Full-Wiley, she wants three from the right wing, and she got it. Full-Wiley, right of the top to Williams. Left wing now, Full-Wiley, three from the left wing is good.
How about one more?
Full-Wiley, left wing at the top. Flaugier thought about a long one, will not do it. Left wing, Full-Wiley, another one. Yes!
Why not?
Malaysia Full-Wiley, 3 of 6 from behind the arc last night, 8 of 13 from the floor. Malaysia had 23 points on the night to lead the Tigers. Grace Knox had 19. You had 5 Tigers in double figures on the night. Kate Koval had 15. Amaya Joyner had 11. Jada Richard had 11 as well. I only bring that up because Michaela Williams and Flaugier Johnson, your normal, stat filling scorers right there, your normal team leaders when it comes to scoring. Michaela Williams had 4 points. Flaugier Johnson had 6. Michaela Williams only played 24 minutes. Flaugier only played 23. Pretty evenly spread as far as the minutes were concerned throughout the game as well. So as far as LSU is concerned, absolutely no problem handling the Aggies. Now, Michaela Williams, this in the third quarter, y'all, showing off the speed on the fast break.
Kent, right wing, gets it right baseline to Ware, about 10 feet away. Puts it on the floor on Joyner. Joyner throws up the road, blocked, and Ware lost it, and it's taken by Michaela Williams. The split defenders down the lane, lean in and lay it home.
I mean, one side of the court to the other, like passing people up like Lightning McQueen. It was impressive, to say the least. 98-54, your final score there. So the Tigers will come back home. They got a 3-game homestand, taking on Florida, Arkansas, and then number 23, Alabama. 3 games, I believe, over the next 7 days. Let's see, the 26th. So that would be Monday, Thursday, and then February 1st for the next 3 games over that homestand. Monday night's game, 7 p.m., will be on the SEC Network. And, of course, all your LSU women's basketball games are right here on Talk 107.3 FM. On the men's side, I hesitate to kind of preview this, but LSU's men are supposed to be playing Arkansas tomorrow night at Arkansas. And that is going to be difficult because as this winter storm rolls through, we're looking at the possibility of more than a foot worth of snow in Fayetteville. So Remains to be seen. When they do play, it'll be on Eagle 98.1. Here's a Fox Business Report. I know. Good morning, Christy. Welcome in, Boo. Christy still on the mend. Whatever attacked her and knocked her down good.
Did you get her pancake yet?
No, I'm today's lunch. Friday, a lot of Fridays I like to go grab the hot wings from Mathern's.
Oh, okay.
The hot wing bar over at Mathern's. It is a personal favorite. So while I'm there. Starting off your Friday morning, here's what we've got going on. Actually, not a whole lot going on to start off the Friday morning. Looking at your interstates, you're not the normal volume we see on 12 westbound coming in from Livingston is not there. We're smooth sailing on 12 west. We're smooth sailing on 10 west. We are smooth sailing on 10 east. I-110 looks pretty lonely as well. And surface streets, there are no accidents to report. So about the best possible way to start off a Friday morning. Let's see if we can't keep it that way. That's your look at traffic from the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center. .623 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Yes, we are keeping an eye on what the weather will bring over the next few days. We will be under a winter storm watch per the National Weather Service. I like to look at the hour by hour forecast to just kind of get a better idea of when you see there's a 100% chance of rain over the course of a day. Well, okay, so but if that's all happening at one time, then my dawn until 3 p.m. is just fine, or whatever. So I like to look at the hour by hour forecast. And one of the things that I've been tracking with this is when the rain is going to hit tomorrow. It is pushed back every single day. If you had asked me 2 days ago when the rain was going to start on Saturday, I would have told you somewhere around noon. Now it's looking like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. I'm sorry. 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday at a 40% chance of rain. The heavier stuff won't be until the mid to late afternoon on Saturday when you start, getting thunder and lightning in the mix as well and whatnot. And then it looks like as we move into the evening, it's going to scale back to a 40% chance there as well. So the beef of this the thick of this on Saturday, it looks like it's going to be early afternoon hours. And then scrolling ahead to Sunday, the early morning hours is where it's going to be its worst. And then your temperatures are just going to steadily drop on Sunday, where the National Weather Service is telling us we should be at about, on Sunday morning at 6 a.m., we should be at 46 degrees. And that's as warm as it's going to get all day. As the day wears on, the temperatures are just going to slowly but steadily drop to where we should reach freezing Sunday night by about 8 o'clock. Now, the good news is Monday we'll get back up to 40, which is not great, but it's good. No, not great, but it's good. The moral of the story here is as long as we stay above 32, we have a chance to slightly thaw or not freeze further. When you start looking at 24 or more consecutive hours under those freezing temperatures, that's when you start to see greater effects like, limbs freezing, limbs full of water freezing and falling off, or, the ground starting to get colder, so your pipes start to take a bigger hit. So as long as we'll get back above freezing for a little bit on Monday, but it drops right back down to 20 again. So there's not going to be that much of a window there. I've got a couple of different text messages out to see if we check in with a couple of people as the show wears on, just for some quick hits, no full-on interviews, just updates as we're getting ready to see how Baton Rouge is prepping for this storm. Got some audio from Governor Jeff Landry coming up a little bit later on in the show as well. And like I said, 6:50, we will talk with state meteorologist Jeff Grimes about, what he's looking for, what he's on the lookout for. Did I say Jeff Grimes?
Yeah, you said Jeff.
Because I said Jeff Landry, and then I said Jeff Grimes. That was stupid. All right. Jay Grimes. Sorry. Can't do two J names in a row. All right. Jay Grimes is going to join us at 6:50 to talk about the storm. In the meanwhile, got a whole lot of other things going on as well. One of the ones, I saw this the other day, and we were supposed to have it a couple days ago, and the show got super duper busy, and we ended up not running with it, and I didn't want it to go away. But Robert Kraft was in the news lately, talking about potential changes to the NFL schedule. Robert Kraft, the New England Patriots owner, talking about potential changes to the schedule. And when I heard this, I took away something that wasn't there, but might be there. I tell you what, Breland, can you just play the whole thing in its entirety? There might be something big coming to the NFL. Go ahead.
I want to tell you guys, though, we're going to push like the Dickens now to make international more important with us. Every team will go to 18-2, and eliminate one of the preseason games. And every team every year will play one game overseas. And part of the reason is so we can continue to grow the cap and keep our labor happy, because we're sort of getting near the top here, with the coverage. 93 of the top 100 programs on television are NFL games.
Right.
Think about that. It's really amazing. And you look at the size of our crowds versus the other sports, and it's really, and we had that Amazon game on Thursday a couple of weeks ago, 31 million people streamed. And so as long as we can keep growing revenue, we can keep long-term labor peace.
If you've listened to the show regularly, you know I have a steady fear of losing our NFL franchise. And that comment right there doesn't help. When we look at what's going on in the NFL, and can you play it back from the start, and I'll tell you when to cut it, all right? When you look at what's going on in the NFL right now and where they're headed, and you hear this.
I want to tell you guys, though, we're going to push like the Dickens now to make international more important with us.
New Orleans is the 53rd ranked media market in the nation. When you go global with that, not just NFL teams from America playing other places. He mentioned NFL teams from America playing other places. Every team should have one international game a year. But the next step beyond that is NFL franchises in other nations. The next step beyond playing one international game a year is going to be international franchises. I know I might be a little bit paranoid. I understand that. But when you are not, there are 32 NFL teams, and your team is not in the top 32 NFL media markets. When you expand that out to be global, it gets a lot more dangerous. And New Orleans has already lost its protection when it comes to being untouchable for whether or not they have a franchise, and instead being all about the numbers. And as the numbers grow, and the rest of Robert Kraft's comment was all about numbers, when the numbers continue to grow, I worry more and more that we are going to get edged out, and the Who Dat Nation might be no more. It's 6:30. Here's news.
I said the same thing, Troy.
What?
I'm like, why does he sound like he's asleep?
Robert Kraft, because he's 100.
I know. And then he goes, we're going to fight like the Dickens. I'm like, I love it.
The Dickens. That's funny.
So I brought a small piece of that home for the babies to try, and they were like, "This is." We had Gambinos the other night.
Mm-hmm.
If I had I would probably choose that one.
Really?
I would probably choose Ambrosia. But we have which one did we get? We had the Bavarian cream fill from Gambinos. They're both good in different ways, you know.
I was happy there wasn't much strawberry on this one.
It gobs over and
ruins the flavor of the cake.
Do I need to call him?
He's in the folder.
Oh.
Gabe Firment.
Yes.
Did not have the best week with the weight loss this week. Half a pound. Down half a pound. I understand that. But I was 3 pounds the first week, 2.5 the second week. So don't need to be tapering off. I know full well my workout routine is going to go to crap next week. Oh. And I'm going to gorge like I'm Bacchus himself on Saturday, so. No, I won't go to him. And if I have room for it, I don't know where I would. I got to go off on Julie Emerson dropping out of the race already. So she didn't even try. Oh, look, there's another woman in the race. I'm out. That was my path to victory, was corralling all women, because that's the only thing that I like. She's underestimating herself. And that kind of cheeses me a little bit. .637 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. State meteorologist Jay Grimes going to join us coming up right after Your Money Now. That runs from 6:50 to 6:52. So 6:52, Jay Grimes. Coming up in just a minute, we'll hear from State Representative Gabe Firment. Need a quick moment to remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. You can check them out online at landmarkbankla.com. Landmarkbankla.com. They have been a community bank since 1897 and remains so. And you know, times like this, it's important to have a community bank. We are in a world that is getting more global daily, more connected around the world while disconnected at the same time. Landmark Bank, founded in August of 1897, and they've remained a community bank. Let everybody else keep, running everything without having a handshake, without having a person, without having a relationship. And then when when it's the fan, there's no one to turn to. When you have a community bank, you have a banker. That's what they do at Landmark Bank, and they do it. This is what they pride themselves on. It's been their mission for well over 100 years. So if you're in Clinton, if you're in Greensburg, if you're in Zachary, if you're in Denham, or across the river in Bruley, give Landmark Bank a quick look. Check them out online, landmarkbankla.com. I like to disclose when we have pre-recorded content on the show, things that are not live. State Representative Gabe Firment was in the building yesterday. I saw him, and I was like, oh, hey, come over here. We need an insurance update from the legislature. So yesterday I got to sit down for just a couple minutes with State Representative Gabe Firment. Have the opportunity right here to grab a couple quick minutes with State Representative Gabe Firment. He's on with us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Brian. It's good to be with you.
Always glad to have you on here. We're showing wins on the insurance front. That's kind of your wheelhouse in the state legislature. So I wanted to grab a couple quick minutes, just talk about what got done last year, how we're already seeing return on investment from the work that y'all are doing, and where we're going from here. So let's start with the victory lap, man. A lot got done last session.
It did. Last session was all about auto insurance. 2024, we came in and we tackled homeowners, property insurance. But, coming out of session in 2024, Speaker DeVilliers called myself and Speaker Pro Tem Mike Johnson into his office. And he said, look, I feel like we did some really good things on property. maybe not so much on auto. And so he tasked us in that meeting with finding solutions on auto. And we started having these special committee meetings just to drill down on what the cost drivers were, what's driving the cost of auto insurance in Louisiana. And that process was very successful. And what we figured out, probably to no one's surprise, is that here in Louisiana, we don't get in more accidents than the rest of the nation. But when we do get in accidents, we file more bodily injury claims and we file more lawsuits to resolve those bodily injury claims. And so it just makes sense. At its most basic level, insurance companies have to collect sufficient premium to pay claims and make a reasonable profit. And they were not doing that because of the legal environment. And so we put together a package of bills to do two things. It was a balanced package designed to rein in those frivolous lawsuits, to lower the number of claims, and to protect consumers. And that's what we did. So we had a package of really, I would say, 10 big bills, 5 consumer bills, 5 bills that we would consider tort reform or legal reform.
Sure.
Some of the big bills, like Representative Chinover's modified comparative fault bill, Senator Reese's bill dealing with medical billing transparency, they just went into effect January 1st.
Right.
And so what we're seeing is very encouraging. We're seeing companies willing to come back into the market. And all along, what I've been saying is competition is the key. You have to get companies to compete for your business. You've got to be able to go to State Farm or Farm Bureau or your independent agent and make them give you a competitive quote. And we're getting there. Over 20 companies have announced rate decreases on auto.
Well, these companies don't base their rates from month to month. They're looking far ahead, so they're able to crunch the numbers based off of what you've done before we've seen the effects of what got done. So, I mean, it's some of it's good faith, some of it's projection, but the bottom line is it's moving in the right direction.
Absolutely, but that doesn't mean we're going to stop.
Okay, then give us the sneak preview.
Yes,
what are we looking for next time?
Look, I will say this. There is a little fatigue amongst legislators because we worked so hard the past 18 months or so on tort reform, on auto insurance reform. And, there is something to be said for the idea that we need to let the dust settle a little bit and let these bills, now that they've become law, let's see what the full impact is. So, look, you're not going to see another 30 reform bills filed this session.
Right.
But I do think we will most likely see a couple members, swing for the fences, maybe on some things like maybe another medical billing piece of legislation, maybe something like taking a look at imposing damage caps. Maybe
Representative Egan had a really good one on that one, came up a little bit short.
He did, and he may be considering similar legislation. But look, for the most part, I think we're going to have success this session tweaking some of the bills that have been passed the last couple of years. And I don't know that we're going to see a wholesale reform package like we did last year on auto, the year before in property. But one thing this whole process has proven is that reform works.
Yes.
And you look at what's happening in Florida, who's 2 or 3 years ahead of us with some of the reforms that they've passed. They're having tremendous success. I mean, their market has been completely transformed on property and auto. And so we just got to keep doing what works. You
had a bill last session I found very intriguing, the tax credits for dash cam. I know that one came up a little bit short. Are you bringing that one back? Say yes. Please say yes.
Well,
I really just want a dash cam.
Yeah, I cannot bring it back this session because it's not a tax session.
Oh, that's right.
And so, but there's the thing about a tax credit bill is there's a cost. There's a cost, and Chairman McFarland has more or less given us orders that if you come to me with the tax credit, you need to also tell me who you want to cut. And so that's kind of the way it works. But now we did pass a bill, and I worked with Representative Rodney Shammerhorn on this, that requires insurance companies to give a premium discount for commercial automobiles that install dash cams.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
that went into effect January 1st, and that is a great piece of legislation.
Got about 2 minutes left with State Representative Gabe Firment. I greatly appreciate your time. So if there's going to be more of a, tweaking on the insurance front, is the overall focus going to go back towards knocking down the income tax down to nothing?
I think that is something the governor would like to do and the legislature would like to do. Again, I don't know that we can tackle that this coming session since It's not a fiscal session. Maybe a special session in the fall would be the appropriate time. But I think the more data we have and the more we can identify these trends and see how the changes we made last year are going to affect revenue, the more time we have to constrain spending and rein in spending. I think that puts us in a better position maybe next fall or the year after to look at trimming another quarter point or half point off that personal income tax.
I'll take every quarter point y'all can give us. I love the direction it's headed in. In the meanwhile, I know you got a scooch. I appreciate a couple minutes this morning. We'll be talking a lot before session starts. Thank you so much. State Representative Gabe Firment.
Thank you, Brian.
646 to Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. I appreciate Representative Firment. He was going from one thing to another, and I was like, let me snag you for, and he says, I got less than 10 minutes. I give me 8. So appreciate him being generous with his time right there. He had a double time it on the way out of the parking lot. Not enough time to dive into another topic right now, but there is enough time to remind you what's coming up right after the break. We're going to break it here in about 20 seconds from right now. On the back end of the break, we'll check traffic, and then we'll check Your Money Now. After Your Money Now, our state meteorologist, Jay Grimes, is going to join us. Yesterday, we talked with Dr. Josh Eaches, the chief meteorologist from WBRZ. Today, it'll be Jay getting a look at what's to come with this winter storm. Here in Baton Rouge, what can we expect around the rest of the state? What can they expect up in North Louisiana and, quite frankly, the rest of the nation as well? Jay Grimes coming up next. It's odd. Nobody's texting me back. I mean, I realize it's still in the 6 o'clock hour, but it's just odd. I have 4 texts out right now, and
I know, and no one's really as chatty in the comments today.
Did everybody sleep in today? No one was coming? I mean, we've got the governor's office, the mayor's office, DOTD, and EBR schools all floating right now. And I know. Well, I would like to hear from all 4 of those before the show.
We tried to nail him down because we were getting our Baton Rouge Zoo Foundation like this grant paper, and we always have a quote from the superintendent about how the zoo is a staple in Baton Rouge, etc. I'm like, dude, I just need a line, something.
No. But like Rodney Mallett always texts me back like immediately. I could text him at 3 in the morning. I'm hearing back from him immediately.
Every time I see him on the news, I'll send him a screenshot. Talk 107.3.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com. Hi, I'm Kyle from Blindster. I started Blindster in my garage back in 2010. Since then, we've sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters nationwide. Our
Hi, good morning, Jay. Is this Jay? Hello, Jay. Hey, good morning. It's Brittany with Talk 107.3. Talk 107.3. Yep. Okay, we'll come to you in about a minute, okay? Okay. Poor thing. I think I called him. He was asleep still.
I asked him, I said, how early is too early? He said, I should be on my second or third pot of coffee by then.
I feel you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're Jay, you get hit before the storm, right? Like, it's all because once it's here and through, everybody's pivoting over to Entergy and DOTD and like so from Jay's end, yeah. Oh God, yeah, yeah. That's like he's looking forward to this actually being, during and done, right? Yeah. Oh. 652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. So we know to expect something on Saturday and Sunday as far as the winter storm is concerned. It's consumed the national news. It's consuming us locally as well. So let's get the latest. We got our state's meteorologist on with us, Jay Grimes. Jay, good morning. How are you, sir?
Hey, good morning, Brian. Doing good, and yeah, it's going to be more than something, especially for the northern parishes.
All right, let's start with them before we get to us, because as I understand that this thing is, if you are like, let's say north of Natchez, it's going to get brutal.
Yeah, north of a line from Natchez to Alec to over to Lufkin, we're looking at icing now.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a half an inch or more, possibly even getting up to an inch or more as you get into the northeastern parishes. So that's critical. I mean, those are the kind of numbers that create just crippling effects in the northern parishes. Plus, temperatures are likely to stay at or below freezing for 60 or more consecutive hours. So once that ice sets up, it's going to hang around up there, and they could get a thin blanket of snow on top of the ice, which will even increase the duration of the ice persisting for even longer. So we're talking about significant infrastructure problems, not just power outages, but also probably some problems dealing with water availability and power outages in some of the more rural locations that would last a couple of days at least.
Wow. I mean, incredible. We got our state meteorologist, Jay Grimes, on with us. Jay, talk to me a little bit about the difference between, we're used to an inch of rain, not an inch of ice. So talk to me a little bit about the difference between an inch of rain, an inch of ice versus an inch of snow.
Well, an inch of rain is no big deal in Louisiana. Everybody knows how to deal with that.
Right.
An inch of ice can start adding up to weight that can approach dozens or even hundreds of pounds on tree limbs and power lines. And in fact, that's where we get the outages from. It's not just the weight of ice on power lines themselves. The real problem is when those tree limbs, which gather even more ice than the power lines, the weight of those tree limbs start to snap and you effectively karate chop those power lines. So that becomes truly problematic. An inch of snow in North Louisiana is not a huge deal, except in this situation where they're going to be 2 to 3 days before they get above freezing, plus cloud cover. So once that snow falls on top of the ice, it's going to linger around for a while. In fact, that snow will effectively keep the ice from being melted by sunshine. So they could be into Tuesday or even possibly Wednesday in some parts of North Louisiana before they really start to see that ice begin to break up.
Yeah, the snow acting as an insulator on top of it, it just presents a very, very scary scenario. Jay, what about further north in Louisiana? Stretching, I know you've been keeping a close eye on what's going on inside the state. That's your job. But I know, just as your natural curiosity, going further north, like let's say in Arkansas or Missouri, how bad are they looking at it right now?
Well, the belt will probably actually start in Texas, run across northern Louisiana, southern and central Arkansas. Missouri will start to see those numbers coming down. But the one thing that's truly impressive about this storm system, it literally is going to reach from New Mexico to Maine. Wow. And it's going to leave a footprint that's going to be more than 2,000 miles long. And in some parts of the country, maybe as much as 500-600 miles north to south.
That's just, I mean, that's incredible. That's when you think about in terms of like how the Mississippi River draws water from a big part of the nation. You're talking about a bigger part of the nation is this storm's footprint.
Well, that's true. Now, the one good bit of news is it's going to put some snow in the Ohio Valley, which is a major contributor to the Mississippi. So this is thinking down the road a ways, but this is going to give us a bump up on the Mississippi River, which the people down in southeast Louisiana, particularly Plaquemines Parish below New Orleans, they certainly could use, because the river has been unusually low for this time of year, creating saltwater problems down there. But this, again, this really has the potential to be truly crippling in North Louisiana, especially in the more rural communities. And now the question is how long it lasts. And by the way, those temperatures that are below freezing, we could see some single-digit temperatures in the northernmost parishes with wind chills on Monday morning that could get down to or even a tick or two below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. So looking for schools to be closed up in the northern tier at the very least. The good news in South Louisiana is it really doesn't look like we're going to have much of a winter footprint below US 190.
Okay.
So for most of us down here, and particularly Baton Rouge, southeastward into the Crescent City, this is going to be essentially a non-event, other than even there, all the way down close to the coast, we could see freezes and even some hard freezes.
Looking ahead, once the precipitation is through and the freeze rolls in, Monday morning could be a little rough if school stays in here in Baton Rouge.
I'm not really worried about any winter precip, but Monday morning, Baton Rouge is going to be dealing with a hard freeze. So I would say at this point, schools are probable to run on Monday.
Wow.
But the kids are going to need to certainly dress in layers.
He is Jay Grimes. We always appreciate the time, man. I know it's go time for you, and you're not quite to the finish line yet. Thanks for squeezing us in this morning.
You bet, Brian.
Always. Talk to you soon. Whew. Yeah, he's getting hit from all angles. So I appreciate that greatly. What's it going to look like on the roads here in Baton Rouge? What's it going to look like on the roads in North Louisiana? Rodney Mallett from DOTD going to join us coming up at 7:15. Still got a couple of other messages out we're looking for a response from. Hopefully we'll hear from hopefully we will get to everybody. Right now we got to get the news though. ABC News coming your way. Top stories and trending after that. Hour 2 is on the way right here on Talk 107.3 FM. Probable. Should I play stupid with Rodney and say, Rodney, I've seen all over Facebook that DOTD trucks are dispensing Tony Sacheries on the road?
Yes, because Rodney's good for it.
You think
he'll play into that?
It's all over Facebook, so you know it's real.
Being poured out on the interstate. Don't worry, what's wrong with it. Come on, man.
What just happened to you when you ran out of the tunnel? Where were you going?
Now let's check out your drive.
I think you got a little confused. Hey, let me ask you about your quarterback, Jared Lee, starting for the first time since 09. What was the last piece of advice you gave him before he ran out?
Just play the plays that we call, enjoy yourself. He's earned the right. Enjoy the day.
You too. Right back up to you.
She's the best. Miss Les Miles.
Oh.
Talk 107.3 weather.
Good morning and happy Friday. Areas of dense fog will be possible during the morning drive. Perhaps a little mist embedded within that too. Mostly cloudy for the rest of the day. Highs ranging from the low 60s up north to the middle and upper 60s farther south. Things get interesting on Saturday. Rain becomes increasingly likely through the day. It's likely by the end of the day.
No.
Periods of rain Saturday night will give way to another round of widespread rain on Sunday. Along the northwest of Baton Rouge, there might be a short window where freezing rain becomes possible, specifically on Sunday. Meteorologist Malcolm Byron of your Storm Station forecast at WRC Channel 2.
Renee asks a good question. Talk about Julie Emerson dropping out. Renee asks a good question about Julie Emerson dropping out. 7:05, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, Bree Lynn producing. Starting off the 7 o'clock hour at 56 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we broadcast live from the 180 Pro studio. Is it time for your IT to do a 180? Visit 180pros.com. We got a busy hour this hour. Our coroner, Dr. Beau Clark, is going to join us at 7:35. Y'all know where he's been at in the battle against fentanyl. Well, he's getting some recognition for it, at least hopping on board with the TV show that's talking about the battle. And his episode, I believe, dropped yesterday. We'll visit with him at 7:35. Before we get to Beau Clark, we got Rodney Mallett from DOTD. Going to stop by, hop on the hotline to talk about the prep on the roads for this winter storm. And hopefully we'll have a few more connections before the hour is out. Right now, though, we start off your second hour with top stories and trending. Governor Jeff Landry declared a state of emergency ahead of a weekend storm that could bring snow, ice, and brutally cold conditions to the entire state. Landry said his emergency order would allow the state to help impacted parishes directly, also allows Louisiana to waive restrictions on commercial motor carriers and drivers assisting with emergencies in an effort to prevent shortages. DOTD already positioning crews and salt trucks near busy roadways around Louisiana. They're positioned here in Baton Rouge. They've already put some salt brine up in North Louisiana. We'll get the full deets from Rodney Mallett coming up in about 10 minutes. Yesterday, Governor Landry unveiled the whole of Louisiana energy strategy, a comprehensive framework for aligning state agencies, regional and local partners, regulators, utilities, and private industry around a shared vision to unleash statewide energy dominance and elevate Louisiana's standing as a national and global energy leader. Number 2, Louisiana State Representative Julie Emerson dropped out of the U.S. Senate race for Bill Cassidy's seat following President Donald Trump's endorsement of Representative Julie Letlow. In a statement on social media, Emerson said, with Letlow's entrance into the race, quote, the path to victory that was visible a couple of months ago has diminished. Take you to St. George. One person was hospitalized after a Thursday night shooting along Behringer-Foreman Road. Our news partners at WBRZ were reporting the shooting happened at around 8:19 p.m. near Grace Life Fellowship. Shortly after the shooting, the person was taken to the hospital in critical condition. East Baton Rouge Parish deputies are investigating the shooting.
Negotiators from the U.S., Ukraine, and Russia are starting 2 days of talks with Abu Dhabi today about ending the war in Ukraine.
I don't think they're talking with Abu Dhabi. I think they're talking in Abu Dhabi. I think that's a typo there. I think that might have been miscopied and pasted. It's got to be talks in Abu Dhabi.
In.
Abu Dhabi's a place.
Right.
Like, although... Love Abu Dhabi. Best guy around.
You know, this war's been going on for more than 3 years too long. Mm-hmm. And Forbes, which, wow. Forbes writes, the Ukraine war has gone on longer than the Soviets fight in World War II.
Yep.
I'm like...
Yeah.
It's just... Yeah.
No, I understand, but like putting the genie back in the bottle is not the easiest thing.
Right.
No.
McDonald's was going slightly viral yesterday when someone posted a menu from 2009 online. The difference in pricing is stark, to say the least.
So the price of an order of French fries has increased by 149%. And I feel bad for McDonald's because they're the ones that have to be in the crosshairs on this.
Right.
They're the ones that had their menu posted. But like 2009 to now is just under 20 years, and you probably shouldn't have increases of 150% for anything, but everybody's doing it. Everybody's
doing it.
And inflation is a big part of it. And the thing is, when you have like inflation or raises in minimum wage is a big part of it. Whenever you have things like this, they never go backwards. The prices never go backwards. Nope. And it hits everybody equally. But McDonald's is the biggest name out there, so they're going to be the ones that get their menu posted. I'm curious what a Frosty cost in 2009. Right. I'm curious what a Whopper cost in 2009.
The only thing I found, because I did some digging, it's an article from 2024, so take in mind a couple of years ago, they were saying that fast food price inflation. McDonald's 100% since 2014. Popeyes comes in second at 86%. Taco Bell 81%, and that was 2024.
And that's that. I'll challenge that Taco Bell, because if you rewind the clock back to the 90s, Taco Bell lived on the $59.79.99 menu.
Yep.
And
you could get a full meal for like $2.
As Benny Grunch in the Bunch says, that ain't there no more.
It's true. TikTok has finalized the deal to create a new American entity, avoiding the looming threat of a ban in the United States that has been in discussion for years.
Good. Awesome. Good stuff. Now I can just, continue scrolling through mindless videos of people dancing to 90s R&B, converted home movies of what high schools look like in the 90s.
Yep.
For some reason, I'm down that rabbit hole right now.
I'm in the rabbit hole of tornado chasing. So now all over my FYP is the things with Joplin. It's morbid, but once you go down a rabbit hole, your FYP thinks you want to watch it.
Mine's weird right now because it's either like 90s R&B, like it's all 90s flashback throwback, right?
So like Keep Sweat?
Oh, yeah. Or a lot of New Jack Swing stuff, Joe Public, Guy. Anyway, it's either that or bushcraft, like people building their own little log cabins in the woods. It's just this weirdest dichotomy of like, what does TikTok think I'm into?
Right.
And they're right. That's the crazy part.
And don't forget about the TikTok shop, Brian. They always want you to buy something. And you bought it. I'm looking at you.
Many things.
Oh, no.
I should have a delivery today if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah.
Oh, boy.
We're at 712 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. What's going on to prep the roads of Louisiana for the impending winter storm? Rodney Mallett's going to join us in just a little bit. Need to remind you about 180 Pros. They sponsor the studio, and now's as good a time as any to remind you about them and what they do and how they can help your business. Anybody out there can have an IT provider, and an IT provider can build out your network and manage your network. An IT provider can offer up cybersecurity, but not everybody offers partnership. Not everybody is your IT partner. That's where 180 Pros is completely different. Everything from simplified billing, because as your IT partner, they don't have to nickel and dime you for every line item out there. But not only that, having someone you can talk to if and when something goes wrong. If something goes amiss with your network, you call them, 225-330-2200, 225-330-2200, and they will guarantee a same-day response. I mean, provided you're still in business hours, right? But like same-day response, not guaranteeing same-day solution, but they will get to you in very, very short order. Learn more at 180pros.com. 180 Pros, not your IT provider, your IT partner. Joe Teal says, who cares about Ukraine? They have stolen enough United States taxpayer money with 4 cursing mad emojis. You care. You care, Joe. You care about Ukraine. Because if you didn't care, you wouldn't post with 4 cursing emojis. Renee says, Bree, I watched The Hunting Wives. It left me with more questions than answers.
Oh, Renee, it's so good, though. But yes, I'm trying to remember because it's been a few months now since I watched it. But all these wives in the show are married. There's one that I think is going through a divorce.
Hang tight, Renee.
Top 107.3. Hey, Rodney. All right, we'll be coming to you in 2 minutes. Okay. So yeah, Renee, it's a wild show, and I hear season 2 is about to get even crazier. And then we have Angel Reese.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see if she plays like a main. Yeah, it's a wild show.
Lamont Cole is going to call the regular number. Okay. At 725. And if he doesn't, I'm forwarding you. You have it. Do you have his number? Do you have his number?
No.
Yeah, because if he doesn't call us, I want you calling him. Crushing it. 7:15, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Okay, we got a lot to get to here, and we're going to get to as much of it as quickly as we can. Governor Jeff Landry held a press conference yesterday declaring a state of emergency. We will have a little bit of audio from that right after we talk to Rodney Mallett. Rodney Mallett's our go-to guy with DOTD. A lot of prep work going on for the roads around Louisiana. Rodney, welcome back. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning. Man, getting prepped for a freeze is getting to be a little bit more of a regular thing for y'all.
We've had practice at it.
Yeah.
So, we actually have, we know where what areas need to be staged, what bridges tend to ice over, which ones are going to have the most traffic, what our priority routes are. So we started staging a couple days ago, just making sure that we had our salt distributed where it needs to go. We have a couple 100,000 gallons of brine ready to use if need be. Well, we know we're going to have to use it up north. So if, it's not as bad down here, right, then we can ship our resources up to the northern part of the state.
I need you to go ahead and clarify for me. I'm seeing the pictures all over Facebook. The trucks that dispense the Tony Sacheries, they're where they need to be?
They need to come down my neighborhood because I could use some spices. But yeah, I think we're going to go with the less expensive route and use the road salt and the brine.
Okay, fair.
As you started the conversation, it's become more and more of a seasonal activity that now we actually have the capability to make brine in all our districts instead of having to purchase it or whatever. So we've been making brine. We have it stored. We have the resources ready to go. But, the weather, as I'm sure you know, is very unpredictable.
Yes.
So who knows where we're going to apply it, but we're ready.
Okay, talk to me for just a quick second. Let's get into the science of it. The difference in effectiveness and why between salt and brine.
Well, the one thing about brine is if it's raining, it's going to wash it off.
Right.
So, you kind of have, if it's going to be dry, you can pre-treat, you can do all your bridges and be prepared for that. But like if we pre-treated and then it rained, it'd wash it all off. Now, and then the same with the salt, what we try to do is time that where right when it starts to get to the freezing temperatures or the bridge is about to freeze over, then we can spread the salt on that bridge. And we actually have some pilot testing going on with this new technology that is on our bridges in some of our northern parts of the state, and they will give us the temperature and they will alert us as to when is the best time to apply the salt and brine.
Oh, wow. Love that.
Yeah, and another thing that we've done is some of our key bridges there, we've sprayed some what they call Pavix on it, and it makes it harder for the ice to adhere to that bridge.
Okay.
And so we're trying that out as well.
We're talking with Rodney Mallett from DOTD about prepping for the upcoming winter storm. Rodney, y'all have a little bit of a balancing act to do here because obviously North Louisiana is going to get hit harder than South Louisiana, but South Louisiana arguably is a lot more populous than North Louisiana. So does the effort go where there's more ice or more cars?
It's going to go where there's going to be more ice because, if it comes to that point where it's a prolonged hazard activity, then we will close some of our longer bridges. In the northern part of the state, they don't have the long bridges. They don't have the Chafalaya Basin Bridge or the Manchac Bayou Bridge or Bonnie Carey, so we will try to keep those open. And once they start to freeze, then we'll concentrate on the US 190 route. And in the northern part of the state, because of their bridge situation and all, they're going to concentrate their efforts on I-20 and I-49 because we want people to be able to get, it might not be the most convenient way to get across the state, but we still we want to make sure that people can get east, west, north, and south through the state.
100%. In the meanwhile, it's just a waiting game. Going to go ahead and pencil you in on Monday's rundown because I'm sure we're going to have updates by that point.
Man, anytime you need anything, just give me a call or a text.
Always appreciated. He's Rodney Mallett from DOTD. Have yourself hopefully a quiet weekend, sir.
I think the governor was right when he said people need to stay home this weekend. It'll be a great weekend to stay home and have a gumbo, as he said.
Love it. Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon, Rodney. Appreciate it.
Okay. See you later.
Later on. 721 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. So we're going to get connected with Lamont Cole here in about 5 minutes. Want to know, obviously he can't make a call yet on keeping EBR schools open or closing them. You don't want to make that call this far out, but when it comes down to it, what's the equation here? What's the parameters? What does he look at before making the call to close schools on Monday morning? If you're looking at the temperatures Monday in the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock hours, we are going to be well below freezing. So that will be a question for Lamont Cole. Also, we'll talk about getting the word out over the weekend. I know in the internet day and age, it's so much easier than it used to be. But closing EBR schools, what does Lamont Cole see? We will talk with him in just a couple minutes. Governor Jeff Landry held a press conference yesterday. We're getting to that in 60 seconds. Do need to remind you about the folks over at Breland. Can you come grab this real quick? I'm sorry. Doing this live. That's Senator Edmonds. Do need to remind you about the folks over at Neurojust. Neurojust.com is the website. NEUROJUST. Neurojust.com is where you're going to find them online. At Neurojust, they specialize in treating anxiety and depression for those who have been thus far treatment resistant. If you are not taking to the sit down, talk it out therapy, or if the antidepressants, you don't like the way they make you feel, or you've shown diminishing returns as a result of them, give Neurojust a call. They specialize in TMS therapy. Stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation. Transcranial magnetic stimulation. It's this helmet that puts magnetic pulses that target the parts of the brain that affect mood. Think of it, if you've got anxiety or depression, as this constant fight or flight battle in your mind, where everything is like these 6-foot waves just lapping around in your head. TMS therapy helps calm those waves until you have smooth glass-like seas. And they show results. 80 to 85% of folks show response to what they do. So if you're treatment resistant in battling your anxiety or depression, hit up neurojust.com. Neurojust.com. Governor Jeff Landry yesterday spoke with the media declaring a state of emergency around Louisiana, or I should say all the way through Louisiana. Here's a little bit of what he had to say yesterday.
I just signed a few minutes ago a state of emergency that we'll send out to the press following this press conference. This state of emergency allows for direct state assistance to support operational measures at the parish level to help protect life, safety, and the welfare of our citizens. Additionally, this declaration allows the state to request a waiver for commercial motor carriers and drivers assisting with emergencies to ensure that fuel deliveries are delivered quickly to Louisiana to prevent shortages. We understand that we may have started to see some shortages in North Louisiana, so we wanted to make sure that that waiver went out right away and we could get gas into the gas stations and people could fill up their cars or their gas cans or whatever amount of fuel that they need in preparation for this event. With that being said, so that's something we just did in ways that we should see some relief right away. With that being said, we're preparing for significant impacts across the state, starting as early as Friday in our northwestern parishes. This is going to be bitterly cold Arctic air that unfortunately is going to linger around well into next week.
Drinking warm water before bed.
Yeah. That's the governor from yesterday's press conference. Lingering into early next week. That's where we're going to pivot our focus right now. What are things going to look like on Monday morning? Well, obviously he can't know for certain, but we can get an idea of what parameters he looks at to talk about maybe closing schools. Want to welcome in EBR School Superintendent Lamont Cole. Lamont, been a minute, man. How you been?
Man, you don't love me no more, man.
Bro, you know that's... Go ahead.
Nah, I'm doing well. How about yourself? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. And look, when I see you working, I just let you cook, man. Let you cook. You're doing your thing. and things are moving in the right direction for sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely. But we do need to make an effort to get you on more often, if for no other reason than because I miss you. So.
Yes, sir. Likewise.
All right, heading into the weekend, you obviously can't know how things are going to play out for sure, but walk us through the parameters. What do you do? What do you look at when it comes to making the call for a Monday morning to keep schools open or close them?
Well, I think the first thing, of course, priority number one is safety, and then I work with city government officials and state officials to determine what they're going to do. I think people should understand, with EBR school system being the largest public education entity in town, when we make a decision, it has a far-reaching impact on everybody else who lives in our area. And so we have to consider when we make those decisions and who we communicate with in an effort to do so. So consistently talking to meteorologists at different news stations, talking to Clay Reeves at MOSEP, and then really determining what the conditions may look like, worst case scenario versus best case scenario. And then if the best case scenario still offers some concerns relative to roads being slick or being icy in this situation, then I have to make a decision to keep everyone safe, not only our families and students, but our staff as well. So those are all the things I look at. I communicate with the superintendents in the surrounding school district, Zachary, Baker, and try to determine what they're thinking of doing. Because, this is a large parish, so one part of the parish could be affected in a way that another part is not. And then I have to think about some of the neighborhoods and whether or not, power is going to be down. So we try to monitor that. But I think the most important thing, and what I'm learning from families and our supporters, is the earlier we can let them know about a situation, the better they can prepare. So I'm consistently monitoring it today in constant communication. And I'll be honest with you, I said in the newspaper yesterday I would make a decision on Sunday, but as reports continuously come in, as I get updated information that folks are sharing in terms of the certainties around this weekend's weather, I may have to make a decision today just so people can prepare over the weekend.
Well, then there's something to that, Superintendent Cole. There's something to that where folks could go into the weekend knowing what they're going to come out of the weekend with. I mean, it's just easier as parents to make plans around that. We're talking with EBR School Superintendent Lamont Cole. If you're looking at the what the temperatures could be like from time to time, when you mentioned safety, kids sitting out there by bus routes when it's in the 20s, Absolutely. I mean, that's got to play a pretty big factor into it.
Absolutely. It plays a huge factor in my decision making and my thinking, because we've not gotten to a point where we change start times so kids are not out as early. So that's a hint. But so with them being out as early as they are in that type of weather, I have to take that into consideration. And then it's dark outside and it's cold.
Right.
I'm taking that into consideration as well.
Cold and wet. I mean, it just that would be a big factor. Now, when it comes down to, you mentioned different parts of the parish could look different than different other parts of the parish. We could see power outages in one part and not in another. Is there room for the possibility of certain schools closed, but not the whole system?
No, because our students attend different schools all over the parish, and so it wouldn't be wise for me to consider that all of our students go to their neighborhood schools. So you may have families who live in one part of the parish and their power is out, but attend school in another part of the parish. And so with that being the case and buses traveling all over, if we have more than 5 or 6 schools down, we're going to probably go asynchronous on Monday.
Okay.
If we make the decision to go asynchronous on Monday, if in fact we do make that decision, it'll be for the entire parish-wide, district-wide.
Got about 30 seconds left before we let you go, so I want to conclude on this one. You hinted towards possibly having to make a decision today. The message to parents would be what if they don't hear something today?
No, they will hear something today.
Oh, okay.
100%. I'm going to make a decision today.
Okay.
I've heard from families. I've heard from parents. Initially, when the news report came out that I said I would make a decision on Sunday, I got calls from families and people. I think that's one of the pluses of being from Baton Rouge. People are able to reach out to me directly and share with me their thoughts. And, I always listen. So I've heard from enough families to know today would be a better time to make a decision. So I will make a decision today before the close of school.
He is EBR School Superintendent Lamont Cole. We greatly appreciate a couple minutes this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
You do the same. Absolutely. Coming up on, we're at 7:30 right now. We're coming up on news, traffic, and weather on the back end. We're going to pivot away from the winter storm, talk a little bit about the talk a little bit about the fentanyl crisis. That's coming up next, right here on Talk 107.3. Pull that, please. And I can you do it in a little audio thing where you, and like while I'm talking to Beau, is that too quick of a turnaround?
Nope, I can do it now.
Okay. Let me go tell Scott and Richard.
So, okay, yeah. You want me to email that audio to them?
No. I'm just going to let them know.
Okay. What a morning. Shit.
I know.
Okay. Oh, I need to call him. He can't call me.
Okay. Do you have his number?
Nope. Hey, Beau, it's Breland. Hey, we're going to be coming to you in like 2-ish minutes, okay?
So we'll do the one with the audio after the if you can do it during the segment with Beau, that's fine. If not, you know what? Let me do this. Got a little bit of breaking news as we're prepping for the winter storm here. EBR School Superintendent Lamont Cole had previously said parents would know by Sunday night whether or not school would be open Monday morning. He just said on my show moments ago that decision's actually come down before school is out today. So parents will be able to go into the weekend knowing if EBR schools will be open or closed with the winter storm rolling through on Saturday and Sunday.
I'm not going to make it fancy. Just put a floral logo on it and I'm going to...
He's Donald Trump's #1 enemy in Congress, Chicago politician Dick Durbin. Now, Durbin hasn't moved. He's doing the dirty work to benefit corporate megastores. Durbin's bill could cut corners on core credit card security, putting your personal data at risk. Big chain retailers and warehouse stores want to inflate their profits, and liberal Dick Durbin would help them do it. Tell senators, say no to the megastores and Dick Durbin, paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
1073 weather.
Good morning and happy Friday. Areas of dense fog will be possible during the morning drive. Perhaps a little mist embedded within that too. Mostly cloudy for the rest of the day. Highs ranging from the low 60s up north to the middle and upper 60s farther south. Things get interesting on Saturday. Rain becomes increasingly likely through the day. It's likely by the end of the day. Periods of rain Saturday night will give way to another round of widespread.
Superintendent Montclair says the decision on the status of schools for Monday will be made before school is out today. What's that?
Meteorologist Malcolm Byron of the Storm Station forecast WBRC Channel 2.
Sharper sound, smarter talk. Talk 1073 in HD on 100.7 HD2. .736 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along, stepping away from winter storm prep, moving over to a completely different crisis. That would be the fentanyl crisis. This has been going on in Louisiana and Baton Rouge for some time. It's been going on nationwide for some time. In fact, the last, I want to say 2 years, we've actually seen a turn of the tide, if you will. Not a winning of the battle yet, but definitely a movement, to be sure, when it comes to the fight against fentanyl. Well, there is a new 6-part docu-series out featuring powerful firsthand accounts of survival, loss, resilience, and hope amid America's fentanyl crisis. Here to talk to us about fentanyl stories, we've got our own coroner, Dr. Beau Clark, on with us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you?
Doing well. Glad to have you on this morning. Before we dive into what's to come with the 6-part docu-series, can you take us through a little bit about last night? Was it last night's event or is that tonight?
Yeah, it was last night.
Take us through last night's event.
Yeah, it's called Vital Signs. It's put on by an organization called Victoria's Voice. Their website is victoriasvoice.org. It's a national organization that was started by a family who had lost their daughter to fentanyl. And really a big movement across the country that does a lot of different things. But specifically last night with this program, it is a program about empowering and communicating with families and giving them information and the ability to communicate about the crisis and things they can do, especially to help their children navigate this, to help their friends and family and community members. And so last night was a community event held at the Greenville Springs Branch Library to really have that conversation. I believe there's going to be another event in a week at the Central Branch Library that focuses more on how they can branch out with these community events and really providing information to families about the crisis.
We're talking with our coroner, Dr. Beau Clark. This is one that you and I have been talking about this since I launched this show. Like, this has been close to a decade in the making as far as where we are here in EBR with this crisis. Talk to me before we get into the fentanyl stories. Talk to me a little bit about how this situation has evolved and where we're at right now when it comes to this battle.
Yeah, so the East Baton Rouge Parish story when it comes to the opiate epidemic started back in 2012. We had 5 overdoses that year related to heroin. That number grew to 35, a 7-fold increase the following year. And then essentially the epidemic was off to the races. The numbers grew. We got into triple digits. Fentanyl came on the scene. Then we saw, upwards of 200 deaths per year. And then at its height, there was a scenario where fentanyl was then being mixed with all drugs. So if you bought cocaine, it had fentanyl in it. If you bought methamphetamine, it had fentanyl in it. If you bought marijuana, it had fentanyl in it. And at that point, we were above 300 deaths per year for a few years. Since then, we've started to see those numbers decline. And I'm happy to say that last year, we were just slightly above 100. So maybe we're lucky and are going to start to be on the downside of the epidemic. Of course, we'd love the number to get to 0. That would be ideal. But we certainly would like it to even get down to double digits or single digits like it was over a decade ago. And so that's been the progression of the epidemic in East Baton Rouge Parish. And I think the success to that has to do really with 3 things. Number one, you've seen the law enforcement activity when it comes to the distribution of fentanyl some of the largest seizures and busts in the history of the state.
Oh yeah,
happened here. Second of all, the widespread distribution of Narcan. So if people are overdosing and we can save their lives, then we can actually help them with their substance abuse disorder. And then lastly, which was one that occurred about a year ago, was shutting down the flow of drugs through the southern border. And so I think that's those three things together, I think, have made a substantial impact on the epidemic.
And we're talking about, combined efforts, joint efforts here as well. On the front end, when you talk about the legislative end, I mean, you mentioned law enforcement, and yeah, that definitely needs to be celebrated repeatedly. The work that our police department, sheriff's department, state troopers, all levels of law enforcement, the work that they do, the hours they put in, the diligence they have, needs to be celebrated repeatedly. But I don't want to overlook things like our state legislature or our delegation in Washington, D.C. We've seen things on both fronts. A couple years ago, State Rep John Stefanski had a bill criminalizing things laced with fentanyl, like if you're selling weed and it's got fentanyl in it. And Senator Bill Cassidy's been putting forth a lot of effort on the national front on that. So the collaboration's a big part too.
Yeah. I mean, and there's no doubt. And stricter. I mean, this stuff's poison. It kills you. It absolutely kills you. That's the end result. And so there really is no use or need for this in the illicit world as it exists. And so we've seen this effect, and it affects everybody. It's not one portion of the population. It's not one portion of the country. It's everybody. It doesn't matter your age, your race, your sex, your religion, anything. And so it's had devastating consequences. And because of these legislative efforts in untying the hands of our law enforcement, they're able to go out there and make these big cases and get the poison off the street. And if the poison's not on the street, then it can't get in the hands of somebody who has a substance abuse disorder and potentially die as a result of it.
And it's unbelievable story and an unbelievable fight to go along with it. We've got our coroner, Dr. Beau Clark, on with us. Was part of the Vital Signs series put on by Victoria's Voice. Over at Victoria's Voice website, they've got a 6-part docuseries called Fentanyl Stories. You're in the next episode to drop. Without completely spoiling it, what can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so what's really interesting, if you look on their website and you look, it's 6 series, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the release cycle is, but they're releasing one every so often. The first one the first 2 look like they're about families and the impact it has on families. The third one, I think, which dropped just recently, is about recovery and that mechanism. I am in the 4th episode,
Mm-hmm.
and really we're going to dive deep in that episode more than what I've just said today in our discussion about how all this progressed in its intricacies. But so just expanding on what has been said today will be in my episode, which is to drop next.
So episode 4 on the front lines, first responders reveal what it's like to confront the fentanyl crisis every day. Dr. Clark, walk me through it a little bit. What is it like to confront the fentanyl crisis every day? Because it's hard to celebrate victories when there's still so many, at its peak, we had roughly a person a day dying. Now it's a person every 3rd day. That is, to be noticed, but you can't really take a victory lap on that. So how are you going about keeping your head above water during this?
Well, the word that comes to mind is overwhelming, right?
Oh.
So as the parish coroner, we all realize and recognize that we're going to die someday. My hope is that we all die of old age, natural causes, and that would be ideal. But the other things I look at with my job is all the unnatural death. We're talking about the homicides. We're talking about suicides. We're talking about actual overdoses, car wrecks, etc. And anything I can do to inform the public to mitigate those to lower numbers is my goal. Because what I would prefer to do is you to live to be 100 years old and die of natural causes, and that be the reason I'm involved in your life, not the fact that you're a young person who has died as a result of an overdose. And so it becomes very overwhelming when these numbers get really huge. You're right. A lot of times it does feel like, what can you do? And I'm sure a lot of people have that question in their mind. What can I do as just a general citizen? And the answer to us really, and this was displayed last night in the event, is that it's about information. I can't tell you, I've been talking about the opiate epidemic, like you said a second ago, for a decade now, over a decade. And the number of people that walk up to me and tell me that they got new information that they didn't know. And I'm like, wow, I feel like I've been talking about this forever, but there's still people out there that are getting new information. There are people that have received information and learned more from doing that. And I think that information helps them combat and make good decisions, because in this scenario, this is just one decision and it could be the wrong decision and you don't get a second chance at it. And so that's why it's very important to be informed so that when it comes time to make that decision, it's the right one.
Got Dr. Beau Clark for about 3.5 more minutes. I want to stick with the docuseries if we could. How, like, I don't want to get too much into production, but like, how self-contained is your episode, and how much does it weave in with the other episodes?
Now, to be honest with you, I haven't seen the final cut of it, so I'm not really sure, but I imagine it does weave in with it. The crew that came in and shot the piece were very professional, and they really, I think, did a good job. And they asked the really good pointed questions, the things that I think the public needs to know. So I'll be looking forward to seeing the final cut.
But also, just moving from the fentanyl stories back to the everyday battle. When talking about what comes through your office, you mentioned Narcan, the distribution of Narcan as a big part in reducing overdose deaths. Give us a grade right now. Where are we with our ability to distribute Narcan, and where can we be?
So the great thing about it, when all this started at the very beginning, is the lawmakers really were cognizant about saying, hey, we need to make this incredibly readily available. So Narcan used to be something you would get prescription from a physician. Now it's the ability for you to walk into any kind of pharmacy and say, look, I need to purchase some Narcan. I need to have it on my person. And you're able to buy it. And so with that in mind, as well as all these other distribution sites where we have people in our community that go out and give Narcan, especially in high-risk areas, especially where there has been a previous overdose, so that we can save people's lives. And that reduces that number that we keep talking about, and helps us get the person to the point where we can get them into recovery. If we can get them recovery and save their life, then I'm not working their death. And so Narcan has become very prevalent in that situation. I equate it to the scenario of, when people were dying of sudden cardiac death in the 80s, what did? We distributed AEDs all over the place. So now you can't go into a public building without having an AED present to save somebody's life. Narcan, it's the same scenario. Narcan should be present, and you should keep it on your person. You could, it's not something large. I mean, it's a little vial and a little like a size of an Afrin bottle. And you can keep it on your person, and of course you may be in a position sometimes to save somebody's life. So it's not a bad thing to have available, because when the overdose happens, you really have seconds to respond.
Yeah.
But it does the trick.
He is EBR's coroner, Dr. Beau Clark. The docuseries you'll find at Victoria's Voice's website. Just Google Victoria's Voice. You will find their website from there. Dr. Clark, we always appreciate the time, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Have a good day.
Absolutely. You do the same. We're coming up on 850 at Talk 107.3 FM. We're going to kind of juggle the lineup around real quick. State Senator Rick Edmonds is running for Congress in the District 5 seat. That is Julia Letlow's seat that she's moving over to take on Senator Bill Cassidy. We had him slated for 8:15. We're going to try and move him up real quick to see if we can't get him on before he's got the state's business to tend to over at the Capitol. So we want to get him in, share his story a little bit about why he's running. Won't be his only time on to talk about running, but we'll get State Senator Rick Edmonds on next, as he is the first, or was the first, to throw his hat in the ring for that gig. Before we get you to your money now, do need to remind you about the folks over at Industry Makes. Industry Makes is a campaign born out of collaboration and a need to present a unified industrial front in the face of coordinated anti-industrial messaging. You can learn more at industrymakes.org, industrymakes.org. Look, we understand anti-industrial messages may target one company or several, but they hurt the entire manufacturing industry. Learn more at industrymakes.org. Here's your money now. How are you, sir? Appreciate the hustle, man. You good?
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Oh, y'all gonna have a crowded field for this race.
Oh, who knows?
Oh man,
Is it gonna be that crowded?
I think so.
Really?
I think so.
I mean, now that's it.
Let's see, we close it out. Well, I saw kill the mics, please. 755 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Y'all, I got poor Breland running in 8 different directions. About
Lamont Cole.
30 minutes ago, EBR School Superintendent Lamont Cole broke a little bit of news right here on Talk 107.3 FM. It was previously reported. I shouldn't say previously reported. It was previously said by him that parents in East Baton Rouge would know Sunday night if schools would be open on Monday morning following this winter storm. Well, Superintendent Cole right here on this show about half an hour ago said, no. Close of business today. When schools close down today, you will know if your kid's going to school on Monday. They will make that call. We'll have the full interview up at talk1073.com after the show's over with. He talked a little bit about parameters, what they look for when making that call. Right now, though, we want to pivot and look ahead to May when Congresswoman Julia Letlow moves over to run against Bill Cassidy. That leaves the District 5 seat open. The District 5 seat now includes a big old chunk of Baton Rouge. First man to throw his hat in the ring, State Senator Rick Edmonds. He's in with us now. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm bringing a blizzard with me. I'm bringing it, baby.
Bringing the ice. We're going to do this a little bit differently here. You got some business to attend to at the Capitol.
Yeah, it's work day.
So, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your flexibility here. So we're going to split the interview in half.
Okay.
We're going to talk to you till news, and then we'll talk to you after that, after the news as well. Let's go ahead and start off with the most basic question that I ask of everybody who's throwing their hat in the ring. Why?
Well, because America's soul's in jeopardy. There's no question of what's happened in this past at least 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I don't want to be an alarmist, and I'm not just trying to be drama, but look, the things that we most value in our lives, I mean, most of them have been threatened or continue to be threatened. And we've got to have some really strong men and women that will stand up for America. We will not throw in the towel. Listen, I'm ready to run to my good friend Mike Johnson's side and say, I'm with you. You don't have to worry about me. We're going to get the job done. Mike is a phenomenal man. He's been a longtime friend. I can't wait I hope the people will see it that way. And strong leadership is on the way from Baton Rouge.
We got State Senator Rick Edmonds, and he's the first one to throw his hat in the ring in the District 5 seat. Let's talk a little bit about that alignment. You used to work side by side with now Speaker Johnson back when he was in our state house.
Yeah. Listen, even before that, Mike was the deacon in my church for 10 years.
No kidding.
And Mike and Kelly listen, no matter about politics and all that, they're just great people and great friends.
He's a good guy. He's in Louisiana right now is punching outside of its weight class.
Yeah.
How do you see yourself weaving into that?
Well, I just think the 10 years that I'm starting year number 11. I know it's hard to believe we've been together a while here.
Really?
Yeah. I'm starting year number 11 in the legislature, and it has been a phenomenal preparation.
Mm-hmm.
I've served on appropriations and finance. I'm chairman of education. I've been involved in education. Think about where we started 10 years ago in education. We've gone from couldn't break 50 to now 32, fourth in a couple of categories. Kate Brumley knocking out superstar, doing a great job. I'm excited about what we've been able to accomplish in a lot of categories. We got a lot of work to do, but we've had some really good things happen.
We're going to talk a little bit more about your resume on the back end. I don't want to set it up and then have to cut you off. So we'll talk a little bit more about your resume and a little bit about campaign strategy, because this is a different kind of animal. We're going into a close primary in May. We'll talk about that on the back end as well. But with 45 seconds till we hit news, what is you mentioned America's soul.
Yeah.
Get more specific. What is the biggest problem we're facing today that you could help tackle in Washington?
Well, you can't fold on the immigration issue right now. You listen, economic development, you just take what's happening in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen anything like it in my adult life of what's going on, just the investment dollars coming to Louisiana. Yeah. We can't let that stop. We've had the outward migration now for years. And for the first time in years, it's a flip. We're going to need a greater workforce. I'm going to be a part of leading to develop workforce. I'm doing it right now. I've got a super bill coming.
State Senator Rick, a super bill coming.
A super bill coming.
We can break
session.
More news today.
Yeah,
let's go.
Bet.
All right. State Senator Rick Edmonds is in with us. We're going to pause for news, traffic, weather. When hour 3 kicks off, he's going to stay with us for a couple more minutes right here on Talk 107.3. Kill mics. We're always in favor. 806 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Appreciate the hustle, appreciate the pivot from State Senator Rick Edmonds. He's in with us right now. His hat is in the ring, first one in, to be exact, to replace Julia Letlow as the District 5 congressperson. Senator, I got to ask you about, you were talking a little bit about your relationship with Mike Johnson on the front end. And, Louisiana, and I asked this one on the back end as well. Louisiana is punching out of our weight class right now. Our delegation should not have near the power that we have, or near the muscle that we have. Congresswoman Letlow is going to be leaving a very, very important committee assignment. There's no guarantee that committee assignment comes back around for the next representative from Louisiana. How would you go about working to make sure we don't lose out on seniority, we don't lose out on authority?
Well, first of all, you mentioned Louisiana relationships, and there's probably not another state like Louisiana and the ties that we have. Mm-hmm. And, for 8 years, I served on appropriations in the House. There's nothing like that training base, nothing like it. Right. You become budgetary, all the crises we went through, every special election, every special session, how many things we went through in that 8 years. Now, on the flip, here I am in the Senate. I'm on Senate Finance. So for almost 11 straight years now, we're working on. Does that make a difference? I think it makes a tremendous difference of working on budgetary matters. Mike knows that. We've talked through this for the whole time. I mean, we're close friends, but we're also allies on what has to happen in America. And I don't think I know everything. I don't mean that at all. I don't want the public to think that. But their training base that you do, I'm not looking to learn from the bottom. I've already had a learning curve that I think is pretty significant. And I bring that instantly. I think Mike knows that. I think that you could see me move quickly into some leadership that we can really keep Louisiana where we want to be.
For clarification purposes, when he says Mike, he's speaking of Speaker Johnson, of course. But when you've got that relationship and you are on a first name basis, that does play into it because the speaker has that.
The speaker, just like we do
authority.
here, the people have the authority. The leaders have the authority to make certain that they place people in positions they think will be effective for their leadership. And listen, I'm confident. I'm ready to do that job.
State Senator Rick Edmonds in with us. Okay, you teased going into the break about some of the work you're going to be doing during the legislative session, and you use the term super bill. There's no way I don't follow up on that.
Yeah.
I know nothing's written yet, so I'm not going to press you for details, but what's the theme here? What's the idea? What's the goal?
Look, here's where we are. We've got this unbelievable economic development that's going on, billions of dollars coming to Louisiana. Now, what that means is we also are going to have the workforce to have to match it, and that's quite a challenge. Mm-hmm. If you've heard others say through the years, the ages of 22 or 25 to 55, we have a huge workforce that doesn't have any credentialing. We're going to take right now and work with workforce and Board of Regents and Economic Development and Board of Education. The stars have aligned. Mm-hmm. And I think we're going to lead the nation in making certain that we get our workforce prepared and ready and credentialed for the next generation. And that's a little tease on it, but I think you're going to see that in our universities as well. And I'm very excited about it. We'll see that launch in March.
Looking forward to that. Be on the lookout for Senator Rick Edmonds' super bill, as he's calling it. Okay, we got about 5 minutes left for this time around because you're going to be on a lot before Election Day. Let's talk a little bit about campaigning. District 5 is weird, to say the least. There are parts of District 5 where you have to leave the state to get to other parts of District 5, right? Talk to me a little bit about campaigning because you got to know Franklinton as well as you got to know Monroe.
Yeah, well, I'm a Louisiana boy, and we grew up on the back roads. I mean, we know what's up. We hunt, we fish. I mean, that's what we do. We know it. Does it help? Well, I think it does. But the other part of it is this area of my state senatorial district, which we're talking about EBR, we're talking about Central, we're talking about Zachary, we're talking about Livingston Parish. I just think I'm super familiar with this group. This has been a good while of my life been spent in this area, and I think we'll work very, very good in that area. But it's not to say we don't know something about Northeast Louisiana. We catch all of Winsboro, move our way up to Monroe. Listen, I'm a Louisiana boy. I'm born and raised here, and I think I know how to hit it and make this thing adjust and make the thing work.
One of the difficult parts about this with the campaigning is the messaging, and the messaging is that this district has always been the Northeast Louisiana district.
Yeah.
How do you shift that messaging to help folks understand This ain't just Duck Commander's backyard anymore.
Yeah, well, and it's not, and that's just what happens when you see maps are changed and drawn, and that's where we are with the uniqueness of this particular congressional district. If it wasn't, I promise you, I wouldn't be sitting in the chair with you today.
No.
If I didn't think that this was something that I can bring to the table for both leadership and both the area of what you're referring to. I wouldn't toy with the people's emotions like that. I believe that this Baton Rouge area is dominant. We have a great opportunity to have a great seat like we've had in the past, and that's just the way the cards have fell. But will we look into Monroe and be a great voice and leader for those guys? Absolutely. And all the way through the central part, a lot of agriculture, a lot of great Christian people that I'm familiar with, and all. So it's a solid district. Look forward to it.
One more on the district itself, and that is the potential of change. We haven't heard from the Supreme Court on Louisiana versus Calais or Calais versus Louisiana. But if in the off chance they come back, would that change anything?
Well, it could, because you would assume, this is a great assumption we don't have time for, but you'd assume we would go back into session, we would redraw the maps,
right.
And then we'd have to see what happens with 5 and 6. And, hey, it's just still out there. But right now, we can only go with what we have, and that is the current Congressional District 5, and we're ready to go get them.
Let's get one more for State Senator Rick Edmonds before you gotta get to work. But
I do.
So one of the things that I love about our that's not just rhetorical, like he's literally on his way to the Capitol. One of the things that I've always liked about our delegation in Louisiana is everybody kind of has their specialty. Dr. Cassidy, obviously a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Julia Letlow, education background. Clay Higgins, a lot of law enforcement, border control, that sort of thing. What do you envision your specialty being?
Well, I think what's happened in the legislature that I had no idea was going to happen is that my very first session, I was appointed to the House Appropriations Committee. So what happened is it puts you involved in budgets. And I really think that has really helped me really grow as a leader. And I think I'm way down the curve on that. And that's 10 years of this in a row. But education has always been something my whole life, almost my whole adult life, but especially of all preschools, early childhood, all involvement in high schools and now with universities. So we're moving up the ladder in education. It's a great time to see what Louisiana's doing. And I think I can really have some great movement to help Louisiana continue to move forward.
State Senator Rick Edmonds, now candidate in District 5. Just the first conversation.
It is.
What'll be going on. I greatly appreciate you stopping by this morning.
Man, I appreciate it. I'll see you soon.
Absolutely. We are at 8:13. We're rolling over to 8:14 to Talk 107.3 FM. So normally that segment was This Day in History. No problem at all. We'll pick it up where we left off. This Day in History, presented by 5 Star Printing and Signs, coming up next. Yes, please. One Bath and Closets, 400-8005. One Bath and Closets, David Duvall and his team. Give your house a really honest look. And when I say give your house a really honest look, specifically your bathroom, the master bath, kids bath, the guest bath, half bath, whatever. Give it a really good look. So many homes in Baton Rouge are overdue for just an upgrade, just a quick little facelift. Whether you're talking about the bathroom, whether you're talking about making the most out of your closet space, either way, David's got you covered. Christy and I, we decided this was the year, y'all. Well, I should say 2025 because we did it at the end of 2025. We decided it was time. Our house was built in 1964, and it has been a 1964 house ever since. We said, where do we want to start? Well, let's start where we start every day, and that would be in our bathroom. We called David Duvall over at One Bath and Closets, got him out there. He walked us through some ideas, walked us through some plans, took our feedback and executed it to perfection. Could not be more excited with the way things came out. All it takes is a simple phone call, 225-400-8005, 225-400-8005 for One Bath and Closets. Okay. Normally in our last segment, we do, our previous segment, I should say, we do This Day in History. State Senator Rick Edmonds was on it. He was scheduled for 8:15 originally, and then some meetings came up. He said, can you push me up? I said, can you hustle to get here? He said, yes. We said, yes. So without further ado, This Day in History happens now.
So before we jump into it, Brian, what was not mentioned was me flying around the studio 100 miles an hour, arms swinging. I was answering phone calls. Magic was happening in May today.
Hang on. That is what we do here.
Yeah.
Look, you're new as the producer. Buckle up.
I know.
Buckle up.
And
Wait till
it's
you
been
get to
fun.
wait till you get to a hurricane season and a special session combined.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, no. This is how we roll.
It's fun, though. Okay.
No, good.
So I wasn't able to put it in neurological order, so hang on. But I will break it down by what it is, because I've been...
Did you just make up a word?
Urological order?
Chronological is the word. You're like Girl Rocco.
Okay, here we go. United States and civil rights related. In 1849, Elizabeth Blackwell becomes the first woman in the U.S. to receive a medical degree. Let's see. 1964, the 24th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is ratified, banning poll taxes in federal elections, a major civil rights milestone.
Okay.
All right. Once again, not chronological, but war and conflicts. 1968, the U.S. Navy intelligence vessel USS Pablo is captured by North Korea, igniting a long international incident.
Okay.
Pivoting over to exploration and science, 1960, Trieste submersible reaches the deepest known point in the ocean at Challenger Deep in the Mariana Trench.
Okay.
All right. Culture and media. Roots premieres on television, 1977. 1986, the first inductions into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame occur, honoring legends like Chuck Berry, Ray Charles, and Elvis Presley.
Very cool.
And before we pivot, just a fun little This Day in History. 1957, the rights to the flying disc are sold to Whammo, helping popularize
the Frisbee.
What becomes the Frisbee?
The Frisbee.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. This day in 1789, Georgetown College, now Georgetown University, was established in Washington, D.C. Love me some Georgetown. You want to talk about an absolutely beautiful campus. Georgetown's fantastic.
Really? I want to go one day.
So we went as a family. We vacationed in D.C. back in 2021. Walked around Georgetown's campus, and the daughter fell in love with it. And she's like, I want to go here. And I'm like, you need a much better GPA
and
a much richer dad. Yes, absolutely.
Radio.
Interestingly enough, as we're walking, there's this little bulldog being walked, and I go, I wonder if that's the mascot. Turns out it was.
Oh,
we met Georgetown, and he's such a cute bulldog.
Oh,
yeah. And then right around
baby.
the corner, like literally like 4 houses around the corner from like the front of Georgetown is what's the scary movie? Exorcist. The Exorcist house.
It was filmed.
Yeah. Exorcist house, and then the stairwell is actually not right outside the window of the house. You know when the priest gets thrown out, spoiler alert, when the priest gets thrown out down the stairs, the stairwell's another block up. So we saw both of those things. They're right by Georgetown. Georgetown founded on this day in 1789. We've also got while we're running through it. I need to keep one eye on the clock. I know that. This day in, you know what? There's no way I don't do it. This day in 1984. Monumental day in 1984. Hulk Hogan defeats the Iron Sheik in the first World Wrestling Federation title at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Oh, yeah, brother. The Hulkster. Hulkamania unofficially started today with Hulk Hogan defeating the Iron Sheik. No, those are deaths. Never mind. Go ahead.
So birthdays, Brian, for the first time, I don't have any that are well
incredible.
Notable.
That's incredible. I've got a few that we can get to for sure. Okay, painter Edward Manet, born on this day in 1832. We also had in the world of sports, how about one Tanya Harding?
Okay.
Tanya Harding, born on this day in 1972. 1 year older than Tanya Harding is former LSU lineman, now NFL Hall of Famer, Kevin Mawai. It's Kevin Mawai's birthday today as well.
Yes, indeed. All right. Unfortunate deaths on this day. Johnny Carson back in 2005. Of course, legendary host of The Tonight Show.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Hal Holbrook in 2021.
Hal Holbrook's dead?
Yeah. Afternoon.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. He was like 1,000.
His iconic role, his iconic Mark Twain portrayals.
Mm-hmm.
And Larry King, 2021.
That's two unbelievably successful talk show hosts dying on the same day.
I know.
Also, fitness expert Jack LaLanne died on this day in 2011.
All right. And let's see. Notable days today. Let's see. National Day.
National Day?
Dun, 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 dun. I'm waiting. Of course, my computer's going to give me the wheel of death.
Uh-huh.
National Day today. It's not pulling up. So wait.
I can get one. We're good. You have it?
No. Give it to me.
All right. So
it's not loading.
By the way, I missed out on a birthday. Tiffany Amber Thiessen from Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
She's 52 today. I missed that one earlier. And Sully Sullenberger, the guy that landed the plane in the Hudson River, he's 75 today. And as far as national days are concerned, I've got National Pie Day. That's not right.
No, that's not right.
Today is National Pie Day. The world has a lot of problems, but pie just seems to have a way of making everything better. I thought National Pie Day was March 14th.
I thought so too.
Because P.I.
I'm pulling that up too, National Pie Day.
But it's P.I.E.
Okay.
That's just stupid.
I know, right?
All right.
So we have two National Pie Days. Yeah, no fun.
No, veto for sure. All right, we're at 824 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We're going to have Foodie Friday coming your way after news, traffic, and weather at the bottom of the hour. We got a couple minutes before we hit news, which is a good time for us to reset real quick. Last hour, we were getting the roundup on what's to come with the weather. Obviously, you can't know exactly when. You can't know exactly how much until it all gets here. The long and the short of it is, if you are north of Natchez, Alexandria, Lufkin, if you draw that line from east to west, if you're north of there, it's going to get very, very bad. It's going to freeze and freeze significantly. If you're below that line, you are going to get a lot of rain on Saturday and Sunday, with a freeze happening after the rain. We talked with Jay Grimes in our 6 o'clock hour, who kind of brought us up to speed on what to expect. And you could tell with everything that Jay had to say, this is a North Louisiana problem a lot more than it's an our problem. We talked with Rodney Mallett from the Department of Transportation in the 7 o'clock hour, and you could tell from what he had to say that a lot more attention is being paid to Shreveport, Monroe, I-20, everything that's, north of Alexandria once again, a lot more so than down here. Now, to continue with what Rodney Mallett had to say, there's a lot of staging going on down here. And interestingly enough, we talked about how, we're pretty well versed on how to handle a freeze at this point, because we've been getting one good one a year for the past few years. I mean, last year we had the blizzard at this time, a year before that, I remember, was it the year before that or 2 years before that, where we had a freeze that shut down the Atchafalaya, the Bonacary, I-110.
I think it was 2021.
Was it 2021? Was it that long ago?
And it was in February.
Okay, I think you're right. I should say that out loud. Yeah. I think you're right. And so we're getting pretty well versed on what the what's the opposite? It'd be a hot spot, but a cold spot. What the frozen spots are where they need to shut things down ahead of time. Rodney Mallett joined us at 7:15 to talk about that. Immediately after Rodney Mallett hopped on board, we talked with EBR School Superintendent Lamont Cole, who actually he broke news right here on the show. When our EBR School Superintendent was asked yesterday about the possibility of closing schools on Monday, he said that parents would know by Sunday night. When Superintendent Cole hopped on the show this morning, that timeline changed dramatically. You will now know, parents, you will now know by the end of school today what the call is going to be for Monday morning. He laid out the parameters for how they go about making that decision. First and foremost is child safety, student safety. So yes, kids standing out waiting for the bus when it's 25 and wet, 25 and frozen, that will factor into it. Power outages or potential power outages at schools will factor into it, but you can't know that 2 days before it rains. So they're going to look at the whole of all the things and the possibility within each possible each parameter what could go wrong. When you look at the whole of the chart, that's where Lamont Cole and his crew, his team, are going to make their decision. But the breaking news is the timeline on the decision now has moved up to end of school today. That's where we're at on the storm front. And I don't see any of that changing over the next half hour before we get out of here and hand off to Moon. Moon's going to be talking a lot more about politics, and that kind of gives me a window right here to talk about politics. What do we got, 3 minutes? Can I do this in 3 minutes?
Hustle.
Originally on the rundown for the show, I had a much longer time to do this, so we're going to squeeze this in. Louisiana State Representative Julie Emerson has dropped out of the U.S. Senate race for Bill Cassidy's seat following President Donald Trump's endorsement of Congresswoman Julia Letlow and her entering the race. In a statement on social media, Emerson said, with Letlow's interest in the race, quote, the path to victory was visible a couple months ago, has now diminished. Or the path to victory that was visible a couple months ago has now diminished. So Julie Emerson is out. And while I do not endorse individual candidates here because we have such a plethora of qualified people in Louisiana, I will go ahead and say, and I said this on Twitter last night, this bums me out. I'm a little bit bummed out by Julie Emerson dropping out of the race. No clue who I'm going to be voting for in this race, but I will tell you this. When it comes to Julie Emerson, she is, and I will say it exactly the same way I said it on Twitter last night. I get it, but I really wish she wasn't stepping out of this race. Path to victory or not, iron sharpens iron. Julie is honest, she's hardworking, she's brilliant, and she's fierce. And she would have risen the bar for all candidates in the race if they wanted to surpass her, with us being the beneficiaries of that bar being raised. I'd mentioned this chatting with the Facebook Live audience in the first hour of the show. And Renee, sounding off in response, says, what's the point of staying in the race if you don't have a path to victory? The point of staying in the race if you don't have a path to victory is your voice is being heard and all of our voices are being heard. If you are staying in the race, you are staying in the race to raise the level of debate, to make sure that every Republican candidate in this race is going to rise to the occasion and not just get a crown. Elections are earned. They're not handed over, or at least they should be. When you run for a congressional seat in Louisiana, that should be a contest that is since it's the anniversary of Hulk Hogan winning, that should be a Royal Rumble. And the last man or woman standing should have earned it and not just been dubbed with it. Julie is unbelievably smart and knows how to raise that level of debate. So we all took a little bit of a hit when she steps out. That being said, there's still a half dozen great candidates in that race. All right, Foodie Friday's coming up after news. Oh, this is one of those left it all on the field, coach. All right, you posted on all the Facebook pages, right?
I did. I shared all the talk. Can you post that video?
I'm putting it on Talk's Twitter right now.
Okay, and then your ex, because you have a lot of followers.
Well, I'm gonna repost it to my ex in just a second.
Y'all ready? Y'all want to head on in? Sure. I guess let's bring. Hold on. Where's our table? Hold on.
It's here.
Okay.
Yep. Look, we still have it
I
set
don't know
up.
if y'all got a peek at this king cake yet.
No. Hold on. Let me get
Brian, this I don't know if you're gonna want to cut into it. It's a work of art.
It is.
We're gonna get some pictures, y'all.
Yeah.
Let me move this table back. I know. It's pretty, Brian. It has this gold thing going on.
Y'all tell me things I already know.
I know.
It's got fucking flowers.
Look, you can bring the king cake in here, y'all. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring everything in here.
Sir Haldane, this is the queen.
Hang tight. I saw it out there. I apologize. News broke on the show this morning, so I'm doing my level best to.
Brittany, you want to take it? We can take it out the box.
Yeah, let's take it out the box.
Okay.
And we could put the box on the floor. And I can get a good picture of the king cake. It's Mary, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you spell your last name, Mary?
Eiserloh.
Well, I wasn't close.
That's okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Because I'm gonna post.
Your name's gonna be live on the
You're in
Facebook.
studio.
My fourth grade teacher used to say eyes are low.
Aww.
Because no one could ever.
I love it.
And Brittany, I'm obsessed with this knife that she
What's
brought.
wrong with that knife?
No, look, not wrong. Like, look at it.
Ooh.
It's got a little.
Ooh, you bring in
it's got
all
a-
the fancy stuff.
You need to go by Gourmet Girls, and you'll
I know,
see.
right?
You'll see. You go in there and you feel fancy.
Great time. Super cool.
Damn it.
There we go. Good deal.
I'm excited for this one.
Me too. I'm excited because it's pretty. This is like we've had a lot of really good king cakes, but you went all out with this. Like this is pretty.
Yeah, it's really good.
The lightest. There we go. Fancy. Now, are those edible? The flower? Yes, girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want one with the flower on it?
Right? Yep, I sure did.
We grow them outside of the store.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
Yeah.
Look, yeah, that's a nice touch.
Yeah.
So you can just get situated right there. That's your microphone. Mary said this was looking beside of her.
It is.
Really? Oh, have you ever been on TV yet?
No.
Well, you got to do all that.
I know. That's my next step.
All right, we're posted. No, we're sending post.
I know all morning my computer's been doing this wheel. And so like when I need to pull up something,
Yeah.
it's not working.
There we go. Back to my page. We are.
And I made Brian's lighting cool because he was normally warm. And I kept saying, why is he so orange? I know. And Tommy. Brian Haldane. Right.
Yeah, now that you say that, I guess it does.
Well, and look,
The live stream feed.
I understand. It doesn't help that we got that TV because It's more like bouncing off of him now. And I don't know how to fix that. Besides removing the TV.
She's gonna find 15 different ways to tell me I'm too white and like this.
But it's everything else's fault.
Right. So passive aggressive.
Oh Lord, he got deep voice.
Snurdly?
Yes.
Yeah. I love getting to explain who he is. James. Nah, he's stout, but he's not fat.
Because I'm thinking he can like beat me up, you know?
Talk to me about that real quick. We'll follow up on that. 837 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Bree Lynn, coming back in. You heard the James Golden promo right there.
Yes.
And you were asking me who that was.
I'm like, to me, he's this big old burly man that could beat me up.
He's not fat. He's a big dude, but he's not like big old, like, no. But you know who he is.
No.
Okay.
No, please
so
tell.
James Golden used to be known as Mr. Snurdly. All right.
Okay.
So he was Rush Limbaugh's producer forever.
Okay.
And then when Rush passed, he decided, I'm gonna go do my own radio show. And everybody else in the world decided, I'm gonna try and be the next Rush Limbaugh. Well, the guy who was closest to Rush in real life is doing his own thing, not trying to be somebody else. James Golden is James Golden. They call the show the Rush Hour, obviously with the tie-in as a tribute,
I never knew that.
To honor the great one. But no, he does his own thing. It's a cool show. If you haven't checked it out yet, 6 o'clock right here on Talk 107.3 FM. Most days, sometimes we have Kevin Ford going fishing and whatnot.
Right.
But most days we've got James Golden and the Rush Hour. All right, it is time for Foodie Friday. Carnival season does roll along, and we are going bougie today. Completely bougie today. This is so good. Mary Iserloh is with us. She's with Gourmet Girls. Mary, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me today.
No, glad to have you on here. See, I said we're going bougie. I heard no argument from you.
No, this is correct.
Okay. Let's start off with Gourmet Girls. What y'all are, what y'all do, how you came to be. Give me the backstory.
So Gourmet Girls started in 2009. Previously, our owner Katya Mangum had the Silver Spoon, which had a lunch service and an afternoon tea. And she's kind of kept some of those similarities with Gourmet Girls, but we are primarily catering, grab and go, lunch, and we still offer that afternoon tea service as well. We're located at 1660 Lobdell Avenue, and we have expanded actually into tabletop retail as well. And so she collects items from brands from all over the world, small makers, stuff like that. But our showstopper is our food, for sure.
Wait, collecting items from all over. What kind of items?
So a lot of it is China, fine China, for wedding registries, home decor, really anything that she goes to market in Atlanta, New York, Paris. She sees things that she really wants to introduce to the Baton Rouge community and brings it back.
I'm on the website right now looking at this, and
it's beautiful.
No, it is. I don't want to call it unique because unique technically means one of a kind, and there's more than one of each, obviously. But it is. This is not run of the mill by any stretch of the imagination. This is gorgeous.
It's definitely unique to Baton Rouge.
Yeah. So if the food is the star of the show, the catering is the star of the show. How did y'all make your way in that world?
So, so starting with the Silver Spoon, and then so after she left the restaurant, she started Gourmet Girls at the under the overpass, actually.
Okay.
Just doing catering, and then she just had to expand. There was such a demand for her cakes. Her cakes are amazing. She's known for her pedophores as well. She has individual piped flowers on her pedophores. And then so when she moved to the Lobdell location, even through COVID, things still just took off. And she does parties. Everything is made in-house, fresh, clean ingredients. Our lunch is all organic chicken. We have shrimp from the Gulf that is chemical free every single time. Our lettuce and our salad comes from Folsom, Louisiana. Our salad dressings are made with extra virgin olive oil. It's really clean, fresh ingredients.
Very cool stuff. Gotta love that. You mentioned Lobdell. Whereabouts on Lobdell?
So it's 1660. It's in Studio Park. I don't know if you're familiar with Studio Park.
Sure do.
Yeah.
So very, very close to Jefferson Highway on Lobdell.
Yes.
Kind of across from where across from where Burger King used to be. Across from where Mitch Kimball moved his Baton Rouge mattress outlet over there. So good stuff. We know where to find y'all in real life. All right, how do you make the move into king cakes? What got that started?
Well, I mean, it's how can you not make the move into king cakes in Louisiana?
That's fair.
Mean, she's known for her cakes in general. And so she does also carry out menus for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then now this season is Mardi Gras season. So it's naturally how can we serve our customers and our clients with something seasonal for the time we're in now, and king cakes is a natural continuation of that.
Okay, talk to me a little bit about this king cake that we're looking at here, because it's very, very fancy and very, very fancy. But I want to talk about process a little bit.
Okay.
The whole point of Foodie Friday is to make yourself better, make all of us better in our own foodie game, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to making a king cake, you can come out gorgeous and fancy like this, or you can come out like your normal original style king cake with the purple, green, and gold, blah blah blah. Walk me through a little bit about process and what y'all do differently than others.
Yes. So it definitely starts with the ingredients and making sure we have fresh, clean ingredients. We have it's a cinnamon brioche is the cake is that the actual cake, and the filling is on this specific cake. We have the Queen's cake with us today. It's a champagne mousse. And so it's sort of these different types of details I think that she adds in there that really elevates the king cakes herself to make them stand out. So the champagne is technically cooked out of the mousse, but we do always add a little splash back in there just for fun.
Okay.
And then once the king cake is baked, what I think is really interesting is it's cut in half. And so then the mousse is put in after on that bottom layer, and then that top layer goes on top, which is super interesting because the mousse isn't baked in with the cake.
Okay.
It's put on after.
That is a big difference right there, because most of the time, and when you talk about making a king cake, the braiding of the cake, contributes to the density, and the density contributes to the sweetness and whatnot. When you do it this way, you're not filling it beforehand. You're physically cutting it down the middle and then putting the filling in that way. So you're not affecting the baking process. It's after the fact.
Exactly. Yeah. And that mousse stays really light and fresh. And then for our icing, it's a thin layer. It's a typical icing with cream, vanilla, powdered sugar. And then as opposed to your traditional sprinkles, we do sort of this airbrushed effect on it, which it's very interesting. It's really, really cool with edible glitter, nonpareils, and then we have our edible flowers that we do grow.
So those flowers are edible.
Yes.
Okay, because they look like real flowers.
Yes, they are.
So they're both real flowers and edible.
Yeah, they're not made out of like chocolate or anything like that. They're just flowers that you can grow that you can also eat.
This is like it. We were teasing around during the break saying it's too pretty to eat. It is borderline. We're gonna eat the hell of it.
And you're gonna love it too.
Yeah. But it is when you the person who makes the first cut is going to feel a little bit guilty, so that everybody else can enjoy.
Yeah,
that's the first one's got to step into the pitch. You mentioned the brioche there. That is a bit different than the traditional king cake. I mean, we see obviously Dong Fong's probably the most popular with that down in New Orleans East, but good luck getting a hold of him.
Yeah.
But let's ask the why on the brioche versus that traditional just sweet cake mix.
It's lighter. I think. And I think too, it's borders on a little bit more traditional because it's not as heavy as some of these other king cakes that we do have on the market. And so I think that, and then you can easily layer that cinnamon in there, and it mixes so well with that brioche flavoring. And then it doesn't overpower the mousse, and then the mousse doesn't overpower the brioche. They work really well together.
I love where you're going with this. This is awesome. When it comes down to it, when you're baking a brioche king cake, does the baking process change at all, or is it the traditional like where the oven's set and the length of time and all that is basically the same.
It's pretty standard. It's 48-hour process with letting the dough rise and everything like that, and making sure, temperature is correct. If we're cooking in the kitchen, that can affect how the dough is rising, so it's about being really careful and making sure that our timings are correct and that everything's cooked through. So it's fairly normal, yes, but you still have to, give it that extra eye and pay attention to what you're doing.
We're talking with Mary Iserloh from Gourmet Girls, talking about this king cake. Actually, we have you said a queen's cake today, which is absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait. So here's how this works. When we go to break on the air, we do the taste test on Facebook Live and then come back with a review on the back end. So we'll get to that in just a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about how folks can get a hold of y'all.
Yeah.
How folks do they need to order them ahead of time, or can you just walk in and be like, I want one of those and one of those? Like, how does this work?
So all of our king cakes are made to order. So we recommend 48 hours in advance. If you call with 24, it's always a case-by-case basis because we are usually making extras, but we don't make them just to sell for people to walk in and purchase.
Okay.
You can give us a call at 225-252-0999, or you can go online. You can order online at www.gourmetgirlsbr.com. Yeah, and then you can also send us an email, but the best way to contact us would be phone or to purchase it online. But our email is gourmetgirlsbr@yahoo.com, and then our Instagram, which we are very active on, is just Gourmet Girls.
See, I would imagine you'd be because a cake that looks like that, you've got to show it off. Yeah, you're not gonna, that is not a cake built for Twitter.
No,
for sure.
No, sir.
We got 1 minute till we get go into break here, real quick, and that is it's got to be tough to get the word out. I mean, there's so many different avenues to bring in king cake and whatnot. How do you go about attacking that to just let people know what's out there and how there's another level above what's out there to come find what y'all have?
It really is the Instagram.
Yeah.
So our owner, Katya Mangum, runs the Instagram account, and she does a phenomenal job. It's beautiful. Like you were on the website, it's just as beautiful. And she has quite a bit of a following, but we don't do any shipping of the king cakes.
Right.
So a lot of it is to previous clients and people who bring it to parties, and then people at parties being like, where can I get that? Or stuff like that. I've taken quite a few orders recently. That's like, someone came in, they ordered a king cake under this name. I don't know what it was, but I want to get 3 of them,
It is just about time for the Mardi Gras balls. If you want something different on your table than the grocery store bought king cake that's on everybody else's table, this is definitely one you want to give a look to Gourmet Girls. All right, we're going to have Your Money Now coming up in exactly 60 seconds. That's enough time for me to remind you what the Baton Rouge Metro Airport, flybtr.com is the website. I will be over at the Baton Rouge Metro Airport next Wednesday as I'm looking to take my show on the road. We're going to Washington, D.C. for Washington Mardi Gras, and we are flying directly into Reagan National right from Baton Rouge. They've got a daily direct flight. Flies you there in the morning, flies you home in the evening. Of course, we'll be staying a couple days. But if you're headed to D.C. and want to knock out business in one day, you could do so at flybtr.com. The flight leaves out just before 7 o'clock every morning, comes home about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the evening as well. And that's just one of the many, many options. We have a top-notch airport right here in our own backyard. So when you're booking your travel, give flybtr.com a look. 8:50, here's Your Money Now. All right, let's go. Let's dig in. What do we got?
Okay.
Oh, man. I'm so sore. A stupid leg day. I hate leg day.
Yeah.
I do it on Thursday so I can heal over the weekend, and no. Yeah, I want a flower.
Homegrown.
They're growing flowers right outside of that Circle K.
Literally. Oh my God.
When you put it like that.
Sorry, I don't have any utensils.
Grab one.
Give me your slice, Brian. I'm gonna put it up on the camera. Go
Oh.
get his slice. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm showing this off.
You gotta get that flour.
I know. Look, the flour.
We need more forks.
More forks?
Yeah.
Heard.
Probably basement.
Oh, the lighting just doesn't. No, this one's yours, Brian.
Oh, well, give me.
Everybody wants your king cake. Okay. Yeah, let me try this. Ooh.
Holy shit, that cross section. Look at the cross section.
So, what's the filling in the middle again? Champagne mousse.
Do you mind talking price on the way back in? Because I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want people having sticker shock when they walk in, but they need to know what they're getting.
Yeah.
The value, like,
No,
just you're getting what you pay for.
Yeah. Yeah.
You tried it already? Okay.
That mousse.
It's really good. It's so light, huh?
The mousse with the cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Ben Mulgrew.
I'm Ben, he says. All right, let me get it.
All right. There's a reason why nobody used this fork until now. I just broke it in 2 spots.
I have napkins. Just old-fashioned digging with your hands.
Oh, he's back in time. I do.
You got one? You getting a slice?
I'm okay. Actually, I probably will have a slice, but here, that's your slice right there.
No, that's got to be yours.
No, that's your slice. You get the follow.
Well, thank you.
You know what? That's not heavy.
No, right? I know.
You ever eat like Italian food?
Mhm.
And you feel like shit?
Yep. And then you know the difference between good Italian food because you don't leave feeling like that.
Right?
Yep.
That's so good.
It's all about the oil you use.
The Earl?
The Earl.
The Earl?
Man, that's a pretty king cake.
Right. Look at my bite that I put on stories.
Oh, yeah.
Look what I'm doing on stories. I'm digging into the. Cora, it's so good. It's so good.
What's the chat saying?
Cora says I'm dying to have a piece of that king cake.
That's my favorite seeing live comments come in.
Yeah, normally by this time everybody's at work.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find that audio on TikTok, Brian, that goes, now look at this. And then it's showing up. What's the name of that song, Brian? You know?
Day and Night by Kid Cudi.
That's it.
Nothing like king cake for breakfast.
That's my favorite way to start a Friday this season.
Mm-hmm.
Best of luck with those New Year's resolutions.
No.
I only lost half a pound this week.
They've been gone though, you know.
Wow. I like how it's come, the layers are sort of coming apart
Mhm.
over here. And so that's where y'all slice them in half.
Mhm.
Cool. That's
Edible
great.
flour.
It's just a flower, but you can eat it.
I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah, Sour Patch Kid or something?
Yeah, just,
A little candy.
right. All right.
Here, chase that with some cake.
I'll be seeing the double in a little while.
That was the whole ploy.
Yeah.
It's a magic flour.
That's a secret ingredient.
Okay.
It won't let me. Because of the type of business we are, we can't post like songs on.
What kind of song are you trying to get?
Kid Cudi at the beginning where he goes, now look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well. This is something I would pay like $100 for. I'm not even
Well,
lying.
if you would pay $75 for it, then it can be yours.
Right?
No, yeah, I mean that's made for, like, you nailed it, Brian, for a Mardi Gras ball.
Mhm.
You have this on your table.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
bird finger at every other table.
I
Yeah.
would say it's a fancy event dessert.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gourmet.
Right.
There you go. was just at Oak Point last night, Brian. I know your favorite. This is completely different experience.
Smoothness. That's the number one. The number one takeaway here. 8:56 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. It is Foodie Friday. We do have Mary Iserloh from Gourmet Girls in with us with her king cake. The review is as close to perfection as ever.
Oh, amazing.
This is okay. So when you mentioned cutting the crossways to put the mousse in, my takeaway from you telling me that was you're protecting the integrity of the cake, but you're also protecting the integrity of the mousse.
Yes.
Which these two things pair so smoothly together. It's all intertwined. This is not there between the mousse, the cake, and the icing. There's no star of the show. It's an ensemble cast.
Exactly.
And that is, and by the way, with the icing, smoothness again, no sugar burn to go with it.
No, not even a little bit. Yeah.
All right, so it's from top to bottom. The cinnamon is definitely in the background with the champagne mousse. They complement each other very, 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 very well. And the same is true of the cinnamon and the icing.
Yeah.
As well. The flour was a flour.
It was a flour.
You were not lying. That was a flour. I don't know what I was expecting with that, but when I ate it, I'm like, well, that's a flour. Okay.
Yeah.
But it is nonetheless edible. Combined, my first takeaway when you put the slice in front of me was the cross section. The being able to put eyes on the way the braiding comes through and the way that brioche, it bakes out differently.
Yep.
And it adds to this weird dichotomy of having denseness and fluffiness at the same time.
Yep.
So, absolute. This is easily 10 out of 10 on anybody's scale. Now, here's the thing, though. You're not walking in Walmart and grabbing an $11 cake here. This is this comes with a bit of a price tag.
Yes.
What are we running here?
This cake specifically is $75. A lot of the specialty king cakes on our menu run at $75. Our classic cinnamon king cake is $48. Our cream cheese king cake is $62. And then we do offer mini options. So our mini king cakes, for 8 of them, it's going to be $40. And we do actually make those every day in our pastry case.
Mini king cake would be like a 1 serving? Okay.
Yeah, you can split it in half, 1 serving, whatever you want. It's just cinnamon. Yeah.
But I mean, when you bite into a $75 king cake or queen's cake, you know, like that's, hey, you want to see what a $75 cake tastes like? Exactly that.
Yeah.
That's where we're going with this, is that there is this is, it's not run of the mill. It's so like it's just a level above. I don't know how to, like, I'm kind of stumped for words beyond the smoothness. Combining everything together pushes the whole thing up a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. You are getting what you pay for.
So as we're getting into ball season for Mardi Gras, I know Crew of Adana is coming up tomorrow night. Might be a little bit late to get in on the action for that one, but as Orion's 2 weeks away, we got them all coming just around the corner. If you want to put something on your Mardi Gras ball table, or bring it home with you, set it out when the parade rolls by. Something on your table that's going to be different than everyone else's, and quite honestly, just a lot more flavorful as well. Gourmet Girls is the place to go. One more time with the address.
1660 Lobdell Avenue.
She is Mary Iserloh. Thank you so much for a couple minutes this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a pleasure.
We're all done for this week. We will be at it Monday with the latest on the winter storm. Sorry, that snuck up on me in the last minute. Okay, Facebook. A little bit further on the champagne mousse. I don't taste, like you said, you put a splash of champagne back in there, but it really dials it back down. There's no bite to that as well.
No. Yeah.
How does it get dialed down that far to where it just blends?
So it's a bit of a combination between like champagne and cognac, like the champagne liqueur. So I think that is what offsets it a little bit to make it like in the background, because it's when you're cooking down, like the actual champagne is going to be different than cooking down just a liqueur.
Excellent stuff. Thank you so much for coming by today. This was fantastic. Y'all go see her. Appreciate it. We'll see y'all Monday.